We'll see what happens tonight. 8:30. Plug the mics in. Make sure we got the audio.
Tonight I got to get the screen 100% on this one, and I got to be in it. There we go. We got to get you to Old Homestead, Super Nash. Right?
It's been too long.
Have you been there? Were you there?
Yeah, I've been. No, I hadn't been to Old Homestead.
No, you have
not since the distillery. No.
Not since the distillery. You were at Patoka Lake with us, though, that one year, right?
At Patoka Lake Winery, yeah. Well, I've been there a couple of times to the Patoka Lake Winery, but.
Right. All right, let's get the YouTube going.
The time I was there, they were building the distillery.
Yes. All right. I got to move over just a little for that.
Every time I've been to Kentucky since then, it's just hadn't been on your agenda to get me there.
My agenda. My agenda. It's your work agenda, man. All right. And it's pushing the. Why is it pushing it? All right, come on. There we go. All right, we're live on YouTube. Let's just make sure. I got to do the thing. Why did it do that? Come on, put me back on. All right, I gotta come. All right, I need volume. Let's make sure the volume's working. Come on, put me back on. All right, I got volume. Now I've got to. Welcome to the Scotchy Bourbon Boys podcast. Make sure that if you want to comment with a super chat, and we will read it during the podcast.
Sure.
Also, let us know what you're sipping on and where you're from.
Not sipping on anything.
Dude, I'm doing a voice text, buddy.
I was just letting you know. You just said it, and so I was letting you know. Right now. That's why I'm not sipping on anything now. And I had a small 2-ounce pour, not my usual 4-ounce. Do you see the on-air light, baby?
God, it don't work.
The bulb is burnt out.
On what?
On-air light.
You have an on-air light?
Work.
She's commenting and
Don't work.
I have
she's trying to cut me down with the remote.
Light on.
Can't see it from in there.
Make sure that you super chat us tonight, and we will read it on air. And let us know where you're from and what you're sipping on.
Was Mom and a kiss?
There we go. All right. So we are on YouTube and oh, come on. What is going on? 09. let's just go back to getting off of this. All right, go in. Do that. Go back to YouTube. Something went wrong. Come on. All right, here we go. I'm gonna make sure. All right, it looks like I'm moving. Everything's going. I'm monitoring. We're there. Everybody tonight. All right, really quick to do before Alan gets here. The Whiskey Thief Distilling Company in Frankfurt and Louisville, New area. It is a fantastic distillery. They pot distill, and then they don't sell on the shelves. They sell by the barrel, or they sell by the bottling your own bottle from a barrel at their 2 locations. It's a barrel pick all day, every day at Whiskey Thief Distilling Company. And our next podcast is going to be Friday between 10 and 12. We will be going live on Facebook from Whiskey Thief Tasting Room in Nulu, Kentucky. And it's going to be a fantastic one. Whiskey Thief Distilling Company. They're just like us, uncut and unfiltered. The Spirit of French Lick. Alan Bishop is coming on tonight, and this is where he used to work. He is now at the old Homestead Distillery and releasing the Black Forest spirits, and we're going to be talking about that and everything that he's doing at Old Homestead, what it's like to start all over. But his whiskey still is at the Spirit of French Lick in French Lick, Indiana. You got to go there, do some tastings, and pick up some of what he made in the past. It's all at the point where it is what a lot of distillers think is the sweet spot in the barrel. So you got to check out the Spirit of French Lick in French Lick, Indiana. And if you're interested in tasting his passion project, the last barrel that he ever was barrel pick that he ever was associated with, contact me and I can get you a taste of history. But if you get to the Spirit of French Lick in French Lick, Indiana, make sure that you tell them Super Nash and Tiny and CT sent you. All right, Middle West Spirits in Columbus, Ohio. Ryan Lane is doing a fantastic job. He still has his craft distillery opening for tours, tastings, and then also his service bar restaurant, which is fantastic in the downtown Columbus area. But he also has just built 2 years ago a 72,000 square foot distillery that we were a part of watching him do it every step of the way. And now it is 2 years into distilling, but he has the Michelob brand on the shelf in 48 states, and you got to check it out. Plus his Middle West Spirits finishing brand that he has. But the cask strengths on the shelf right now for $65, you can't go wrong, and they are fantastic. He's got the 4-grain bourbon. He's got the straight 4-grain wheated bourbon, the straight wheat whiskey, cask strength, and the pumpernickel rye. All fantastic. You got to pick one up. And Middle West Spirits in Columbus, Ohio is a sponsor because their bourbons and whiskeys are fantastic. Check out. And if you do get there, tell them Tiny and Super Nash sent you. All right, I got that out of the way, Nash. I got that early. You're saving away, right?
It's quick, yep.
I still had 2,000 this morning without you helping me, which was fantastic from last night. The President's Day one was pretty cool. The Macaulay Mitten last Thursday jump, I mean, that was crazy. You know what, you know?
Yeah, I was watching that.
I think everybody was watching that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Peerless.
there was a lot of viewers.
So Jeffrey Davis is having Peerless Double Oak, and he's in Dublin. That is awesome. Good evening, Jeffrey.
That's awesome. From the United States to Dublin, Ireland.
I think it's Dublin, Ohio. I would probably.
I was hoping it'd be Dublin, Ireland.
I don't know. He might let us know it was Ireland, but I think it's Walker's on. Which live did you? Walker was on the wrong live. I don't know. Did I do 2 lives? Oh, that's funny. But Walker, I don't know. I don't know where John is. I saw him texting the group. I wasn't sure if he's still here. I know last night he fell asleep. He said yeah. I figured that, Jeff. He's from Ohio. Everybody out there listening from Ohio, I'll just say this: OH. Anyways. We're ready to go on all the formats, I believe. Let me make sure that's plugged in. Oh, everything's, yeah, come on. Come up. Oh no, why? What? Huh?
What's happening?
That's crazy. Come on. Did I shut this off? Unbelievable. The power strip is. So we're got a little bit of a delay. I'm glad that I told Alan said he was running a bit. That's good because now I got to get my laptop back up and oh my God, that's died before on me. The power strip somehow was turned off. How is that even possible? You know what I mean? It sometimes dies in the middle of a podcast. And then when I start it back up and get the power, it just starts recording again. Here we go.
Be right back.
We're getting there. It's coming. It's 1% charged. You can't. It's plugged in. It shouldn't have to be. Battery shouldn't have to be charged. Do you think it should be? Yeah, you're coming back. There it is. Touch ID. All right. Perfect. Now we just got to make sure microphones are working. Why is this wet? What happened there? Oh, I didn't even know that. I think I got a rag right here. Let's see. All right, I got to make the microphones work. There we go. Microphones are working. We're ready to go. As soon as he comes back in, everybody. All right. I always like getting the technical difficulties out. Sometimes, let's get this out. Let's see what happens with this. Okay, that was the President's Day. I can get up the Alan Bishop one. I wonder which one's better. Do I like that one? Yeah, that's a pretty good one to have up right now. All right. Since you guys are over there, nothing's happening, I can have that up. All right. So we're just waiting for Alan to come in. Yes, trust. We're up and running for this. And oh, I wonder if I rewound the intro. Probably not. Nope. Let's see. Here we go. Ooh, I was almost right on that. Now I'm ready to go with the intro. Ready to go there. All right, waiting for Super Nash to come back in. And then once Alan comes back in, we can put them all up on the screen. You guys can see us all. YouTube and on Facebook. All right. I want to be able to see Facebook here. All right. Usually John's on right away. but that's okay. Oh, we're already at 83. Decent. Comments. And didn't wait for Facebook to reload the page with tonight's live. There you go. All right. Yeah, tonight we're going to be talking about with the Alchemist, and we're going to be talking about a bunch of different things. The whole industry. We've talked with Alan where he's going. We're going to talk with all the spirits that he's working on, and he is working on quite a few. So, one of the cool things. Oh, I didn't do that. I should get that up. Where's my mail? Mail program. Yep, it should be right. I can get rid of all these. I mean, last night's podcast I thought was pretty good. We did 3 bourbons. Cinder and Smoke came out on top. Fantastic. And then let's get I think the mail's here. Let's see. There it is. There's my outline. There it is. Let's make it big. I do actually have an outline for the podcasts now. Nope. Control plus. All right. It's looking pretty good. I've got the whole thing. Well, I don't need this here. Yeah, I've got control over everything. I like to have that. I could just put that back there. All right. Supernash went away for a while. We are shared and going well. We've got that. Outline. I'll drop that over here. Yeah, that was pretty cool. We're ready to go. We should be starting at 8:30 once Alan comes on. Might be a little bit late tonight because we are waiting for Alan to come on. And we do have everything we need. Wow, that's not right. Then we got our theme song. It's playing. Foolish pride. All right, there you are, Mr. Bishop.
What's happening, Alan?
Let's see what I will just look real quick to see if he's got audio yet. It says he does. Can you hear us, Alan? Does not look like he's hearing us.
I think he is.
Well, it's a picture of him. I think he's froze. What do you think?
Looks like he's froze.
He's coming back up, in and back
He's
out.
coming back on.
Did you get my text of the outline?
I did.
Can you hear us now? No?
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Hey, what's going on, Al? Good to see you, brother.
Hey, you too. You too. Sorry, I'm running behind. Had about a million things going on tonight, so.
No worries.
And I can't use my phone on my laptop because if I use the phone on my laptop, the camera wants to lag behind. So then I don't have a camera. So then I tried to charge my damn Bluetooth headphones, and guess what? They didn't charge. So, batting 1,000.
Hey.
Tiny had a few technical difficulties too.
How are you in here too? I always have technical difficulties. Alan knows this. How are you?
Yeah, we got your picture on one, then it's showing Alan Bishop just your name on to the right of it on another one.
Ghosts.
Yep.
Yeah. You're in this podcast right now 2 times.
I'm so good that God made 2 of me. What can I
There you
say?
go.
No, you're probably
So I'll get everything done.
You're probably doing a technical thing where you're getting the audio on your phone or the video on your phone and the audio on your computer. Either way,
I wish I was that smart.
Either way, it's working. Either way,
Good.
it's working. Yeah.
Good.
All right. So, anyways,
Mark, how you doing?
Brother, man, I am doing a whole lot better. Yeah.
Good.
Recovering slowly but surely, and just
Glad to
making
hear
it
it.
happening, brother.
Well, next time I see you, you ought to be riding a bicycle or something. Then you can go ride bicycles with me.
Heck yeah. Hey, I'm up for that.
See, I can't talk anybody into it. I can tell by your voice. You're like, no, I don't think I'm going to do that.
No, actually, that's what I like to do. I usually do that 15 to 30 minutes when I get in the gym and all
Oh
that.
yeah,
I like that a whole lot better than walking and running.
man, you ought to look into getting you one of them e-bikes. I see a lot of people riding them, and people still get good exercise off of them.
yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He has the ultimate e-bike, Alan. He's got a Harley.
That's cheating just a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Well, now that
Listen, if I didn't have a little girl, I'd have a motorcycle again. But with a little girl, there ain't no way I couldn't convince myself to do it right now. So
Yeah, I don't blame you one bit there, brother. And the way the world's getting, people not looking out for people on the bikes and all that, I don't get to ride mine as much as I'd like to anymore because it's just so crazy.
no, I've already almost gotten into a fight on my bicycle because some dipshit who thought he owned the road thought he could threaten me, and he's got a little surprise waiting on him next time he wants to mouth at me. So
Heard that. Yeah, they ain't no sense in that stuff.
no, because my problem is somebody does that to me, and I'm a grown man. They do that to a kid in a heartbeat. And this guy swerved his truck at me and everything, and I can't abide by it. So he has one warning. That's all he's getting. I know who he is, where he lives. I got his address, all the fun stuff. He also has a record, so it'll be real fun for him.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Well, yeah, that sounds. My favorite bike story was that when I met Roxy, she lived about 20 miles away from me, and I was training at the time for a triathlon. So the bike ride on the triathlon was 102 miles, and I would do 40, 50 mile bike rides, but she lived 20 miles away, so I would take my bike down and then hang out with her and then come home. And the coming home was always a fun thing to do, and it was all city streets because she lived on the east side of Milwaukee and I lived out in the suburbs. But I was over by a mall coming home after seeing her, and about 6 miles away from where I lived, and a old guy came through in the right hand lane of the light in the intersection, and he basically I felt the whole, starting with the bumper and then the windshield and everything, and just side swiped me. And I'm lucky that at the end my handlebars didn't catch. He would have dragged me, but when he was gone, I wiped. So there was I left all my skin, and the bike was messed up, but it was still rideable. And a guy had seen it. The old guy just went by and didn't even know he hit me. But I'm sitting there, my elbows, my arms, my knees, and the guy offered to give me a ride home, and I was 6 miles away, but I decided I was going to finish. So I drove the 6 miles home on the effed up bike, handlebars kind of bent a little bit and everything, and got home. And I was still at the time living with my parents. I had to be 20 because it was summertime during college, and man, I just remember my mom. She couldn't believe that I rode home on the scrapes and the bleeding and everything. So that was a lot of fun. It's like you got to watch out because they might be wrong, but you're the one who really gets screwed. right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It sounds like your bike ride is like that old video game Frogger that we used to play. You go and do to and from Rachel's.
Oh yeah, that was I thought that would impress her. That's what you think when you're 20, right?
That's the problem. By the time you get there, you ain't got no energy to go and do nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, it was not bad. The drive was kind of cool because you go through like downtown Milwaukee into the east side, and then and then you're up on, and then the last like 5 miles on the Lake Michigan, and it was kind of cool ride. I enjoyed doing it, but not at night because half the time you're going through 27th in Wisconsin, which wasn't a nice neighborhood or whatever. So it was always trying to do it in the day, but with the triathlon, it was the biking, then it was the running, and it was the swimming. And she kind of taught me how to really swim, because once I met her, she knew how to swim. So, and I had no idea how to swim. So she taught me that, and I was a much better swimmer and a really good biker. It's just the running was the hard part. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But it's exercise.
I'm not
right?
running.
Well, no, I
Right.
I went on.
I'm like you, Alan. I don't like the running part. I don't. I love riding the bike.
I was on the elliptical a couple of years ago and doing really well, getting my heart rate, and I decided that I was going to go for a run. The first half mile.
It's a whole different game.
Oh my God, it is. It's like the beating that in my back and everything. The elliptical's all designed not to just kick the crap out of your body. No, that was like after that run, I'm like, I'm never running again. Lately, I've been rowing.
That's funny because oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Say what you.
I was going to say, I in the fall, whenever it started getting cold, I switched over to doing stupid exercise bike in the basement because I didn't have much choice. And like I knew there was, you're not riding it the same as you are an actual bicycle, and there's not as much resistance. And so I got leg weights and did this whole thing, and I was like, oh, I'm on it. Well, I finally broke the exercise bike, right? So then I went and got a bike trainer, and I've been back on my bike for about 2 weeks now, just in the basement. And let me tell you, the exercise bike is not like a real bike at all. Like I've had to rebuild everything. Well, not everything. Like I could go about 40 minutes solid without a break. Fine. But after 40 minutes, I was done. It's taken me a good 2 weeks to get back to doing an hour and 10. And everything hurts. Everything hurts.
Yeah. I mean,
so yeah, there's a difference. There is a difference.
No, those Pelotons, those are designed for training and giving you the resistance that you need. But yeah, like you said, when you're just talking about a regular exercise bike, yeah, there's even I'm rowing right now. I bought a rower. I really enjoy it. It's great exercise. I love it. And the only thing is that I know, because I've been in a rowboat fishing, there's no way this is anything close. It's fun and it's exercise, but it's not like you're really rowing. The skill of rowing and rotating the oars, and then when the possibility of them popping out and losing your rhythm. This is just back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. Yeah, it helps for exercise. There's no doubt about it. But all right.
More time going in circles in a real rowboat.
Oh God. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to with this. You just have resistance, and you're kind of rowing, whatever. But with a rowboat, man, God, it's like you go too deep with that oar. It's just you don't go high enough. You skim off the top. It's like, I swear to God, it's one of the most frustrating exercises you possibly can do. And when they're too deep, you got way more resistance, and you don't go. It's crazy.
They probably do this with a rowing machine too, Jeff. I'll throw this out there because this is how dorky I've gotten. I haven't started doing it yet, but I'm going to. So on YouTube, there's a whole set of videos of like professional bicyclists that go out riding and they record everything. But then they set it for like a bike trainer where it'll tell you what gear the bike's in and what gear the trainer's in. And then you actively switch as you watch the thing. I'm like, yeah, that it's better than staring at the damn basement wall for an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, the cool thing about the rower, it's in my granddaughter's room. When she comes, that's where she stays. and that's only on. So my rower has me where I could be in front of any TV show I want to be in front of. So it's not like
Shut up, Jeff. Tell me you're rich without telling me you're rich. Jeez.
whatever. You can put your bike machine in front of your TV. Anyways,
Because then it has to go in the basement and I just lose it in a flood again. You know how it goes.
yeah.
Hey, how are you recovering from all that, man?
Oh, it's all good. We always knew that could happen here, and like I've told Kim several times, like it's not a matter of if it happens again, it's when it happens again. It's just the nature of where we live at, and everything's pretty much back to normal, except this funny thing happens, and you guys have been through things like this before where like, okay, I feel like everything's about where it needs to be at. And then I start looking around, I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was fucked up.
Oh,
You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just slowly discovering what you missed in the initial thing. And no, it would have been fine. Knock on wood, even if this house wasn't here, as long as the girls and the two dogs got out of the house, it was all good. So, but I think my grandfather, who was a man who could not read nor write, but you know what? He shot level on this house. It flooded when they first moved it here, and he shot level on it, and you wouldn't know it from standing here at the house. And I doubted it for years, but he said for years and years and years that if it ever flooded, the water would go over the highway before it ever got into the house. And son of a bitch, if he wasn't right, I watched it go over the highway and it never got inside the upstairs of the house. So smart man for a guy who couldn't read and write.
Absolutely.
Okay, so he had it so that the basement would flood, but once it got over the highway, it wouldn't flood the upstairs. Is that what you were saying?
It shouldn't. Yeah, basically, it would go over the highway before it ever got in the house.
Okay, so
yeah.
Okay, so the rest of the place, everywhere else, would flood, and then it really would have to rain.
Or folks have 4 ways.
You would have to wait,
You know?
a lot more before it starts going up over, once it's over the highway, and then also then flood even further, right? Or once it's over the highway, there's a lot of place for it to go, right?
Yeah, I don't ever want to see it again. I'd tell you this, there's a video out there from the other side of the highway, and our neighbors, they live up on a hill, but there's 2 creeks that meet over there, and the water was up over their driveway, and I'll never forget it. I don't even have to look at the video. I can see it in my head right now. It literally, just almost disbelief. I've never seen it get that high ever. It looked like Niagara Falls on the other side of the highway. It was insanity. I've never seen anything like that ever around here in my entire life. And I left in the basement, I cleaned everything up. I left one line where the mud was at because it was about 6 inches higher than the water had ever been in the past. So we lucked out. We got really lucky, and we had a lot of good friends that supported us and helped us out. And so hopefully, if I have to deal with it again, it won't be for a long, long time. So.
Well, let's hope you don't have to deal with it again. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely hoping you don't have to.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome. What are we talking about tonight? We getting into Homestead, Wycliffe Bell, weirdness? What do you want to talk about?
We definitely have to do Homestead and Wycliffe Bill because Wycliffe Bill Bell. Why? What the hell? But we should get into the. I actually looked how it was spelled, made sure it was spelled right, said it, and now I can't. Now all of a sudden I'm just dropping the ball. Anyways, we could do that, but then it's also weirdness. We should go into weirdness.
Yeah, it never fails. We'll get into a little bit of weirdness, won't we?
Yeah, I mean,
fucking fire horse energy today.
But let's yeah, this is a long time coming. Let's get it started. So everything else we say now is recorded on the audio, and we're doing the official thing. All right. So you know the drill.
Good.
Being record-setting 12th time on the podcast. And so here we go.
Number 13, I get burned at the stake, right?
No, just keep coming on, man. I got Greg Schneider, Randy Prassy, and you guys are all battling like somehow this is Saturday Night Live.
Listen, I'm going to need whatever award comes with that before them two guys get it. I'm just telling you right now. I mean, you've been to my farm and been messed up, so I better get that award.
I've been there.
Oh, yeah. We'll definitely have to come up with a great award for that.
Yeah, and we got to get there sometime this
I
summer
miss the
again.
farm, man. It's been too long since we've been out there.
Well,
Yeah.
Considering
Where you go?
last year God put it underwater.
Right.
It's just like,
Yeah, you guys have to come up and come to Old Homestead and hang out, and come over here and hang out. So
yeah, we'll talk
That's what I
about
just told
hanging out.
Jeff before. I said, yeah, I've got to get there. You know, it just hadn't worked out. You know, the last couple of years that I've been coming to Kentucky, I've not been able to get across the river. So
Yeah,
I'm due.
but also,
Overdue.
Alan, when I was coming all the time, even like the last like six times I've seen you without Nash, he's always like in Hawaii, or he's scuba diving in South Carolina, you know, down at the beach, you know. So lately or he's in California. I mean, he's always jet setting somewhere when I'm doing that. I can't. I'm going to be in Hawaii. All right, so let's get it.
I'd like to say that I'm slowing a little bit of that down, but already I got to be in California in June. My brother-in-law is getting married. Taking the grandkids to the beach for July 4th.
So Alan, what are you doing in June and July 4th?
See, I knew that was going to happen.
right. Probably the same thing I do every day. Probably just staring at stills, going, "What can I mess up next? What can I mess up next?"
All right, so let's just get it started. Here we go. I'm gonna hit it. It'll do one of the promos for 30 seconds, and then we'll start with Kenny Fuller on our theme song, and we'll get this podcast officially started.
Drinking bourbon, sipping on some scotch. We get a little wild, but it's sure fun to watch. We love what we do, we're drinking every brew. Man, we talk some shit, but we're telling the truth. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon boys. Raising hell and making some noise. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon boys. We're here to have fun and we hope you enjoy. We're here to have fun.
Yeah! Woo! All right, welcome back to another podcast of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Tiny here tonight, and we also are here with Super Nash and Alan Bishop, the Alchemist of the Black Forest. Welcome back, Alan. Good to have you back on tonight.
Welcome, Alan.
Yeah, glad to be here, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, I've got to turn you up now after that was so loud. All right. It's great. It's great to have you back on for your record-setting 12th appearance. I mean, you know, when you think about it, and the evolution of of when we first met to this point, and how much has happened, it's really kind of extraordinary. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, 12 zodiac signs, 12 apostles. I mean, it lines up,
Yeah.
Stars align.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Where's my award? I get an award, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You can pick 10 open bottles from my collection and I'll send them to you.
And it should be 12.
12 bottles. And I'm not even kidding.
Nice. Nice. I have to think that through. It might all be my stuff from that other place I used to work for.
Well, I could get you an awful lot of that.
Right?
Yeah, well, I mean, coming, not that other place, kind of is now in the background. You've been at Old Homestead now for 2 years, right? It's right coming up in April. April.
Up on April 1st will be that'd be 2 years of me leaving. I'm not afraid to say their name, Spirits of French Lick.
Yeah.
April 1st, April Fool's Day, 2 years, and then I think I started a week or two after that. So come July 1st, that'll actually be 2 years of distilling at Old Homestead, which is pretty cool. And we just celebrated 1 year of distilling actual whiskeys back at the beginning of January. So things are moving right along, man. The trajectory is becoming much more clear as we go, and I can see a path forward now, which is hard to do that first year and a half or so. The first year and a half or so is just starting a distillery is just straight up existential crisis mode. So
Yeah, and plus,
a great feeling to where you're starting to look and see things towards the future.
yeah, ball's not
stuff's
rolling,
starting to
but
happen
someone has. Yeah, ball's not rolling yet, but someone has bumped up against it. You know what I mean? You can see it
absolutely.
move just a hair a little bit. So
There you go.
I know the first sample you sent us from the Spirit of French Lick was the 2-year-old. That was when you could call it Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. So it was 2 years old at the time, right? It wasn't bottled.
just straight bourbon, yeah, not Kentucky.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
just straight.
wasn't
Yep.
bottled in bond yet. And honestly, from the distilling standpoint, the only thing, well, there's somewhat an aspect is that right now, where you left is a lot of the stuff that they're releasing at this point is like right at that aging sweet spot. And I don't think it's the aging sweet spot for what you love to do, because you love it when the grain is a little bit forward and the barrel hasn't completely taken over on the flavors, right? Is that correct? That's pretty much correct, right?
Yeah, I let me say this, and that this is not a knock against anything they do with whatever I have on hand there, whatever I made or whatever me and Dad and Pedro and Josh Lynch and Tyler Gomez, or not Gomez, Tyler, I can't remember his last name, doesn't matter. Not a knock against any of that stuff, but I will tell you that that stuff was not ever intended to go beyond 6 years. It wasn't distilled for that. So for whatever that's worth. Now that doesn't mean that anything that comes out that's older than 6 years old isn't going to be potentially good. I am just saying that they need to babysit those barrels very closely and be paying very close attention, because they were not American pot still whiskey is not designed to go to those ages necessarily. So
Yeah, and like
especially my style, but yes.
Well, I think what you're gonna the way you say that is that if you're gonna let it go to that age, you better be picking and choosing which barrels need to that have seem to age a little bit slower, so they don't become over oaked or whatever. And I agree with that completely with what you're saying. Although when we were in the warehouse the last time, when we did that last barrel pick, you drilled a couple Lee Sinclairs that you really could taste that fantastic caramel. But that's been what, 2 years, right? 2 years since that happened.
Yep.
So we're talking
It was
about
8 years old then.
yeah.
So
Yeah, and then at one point, if you're not distilling, your stuff is it's going to be rough to. You're going to have too much of an aged stock. You won't have anything to replace.
Proactive, not reactive. That's $1 million advice right there. Proactive, not reactive.
Right. Right, and I agree. So, but that's enough about that part. It, you know, and you know, it had to be it had to be extreme. We kind of everybody we've covered the story of where you've gone, where you're at now. It's a whole different dynamic. You've built the stills you have there. You pretty much, not pretty much, you put them together yourself. You ordered the parts and you built those stills. They're your stills. Now, at 2 years or a year and a half or a year and 3/4, once you had them going and whatever, what's the personalities like? I mean, you had the personality. You had 3-pot stills where you were before, correct?
Yes. Yep. I did at the previous place. I had 3 pot stills. I've got 3 main pot stills at Old Homestead, and a little 17-gallon pot that we do a lot of open flame stuff on. That's probably going to get replaced by a little 40-gallon steamer rig here before too long, which is just as damn cool because it'll be run outside off propane as well. But so the character of the distillery, this is funny. Me and Tyler were talking about this the other day on our new podcast, Sacred and Profane. Like, you can't you can wax romantic about what you think you're going to do, how you think everything's going to work, how you think everything will play out, and when you get to the distillery, it doesn't really mean jack. And you don't really, sort of in the same way that the first year to 2 years of operating a distillery are just sort of existential crisis. It's also, and it'll be more than 2 years guaranteed. It'll be closer to 4 or 5 years. It's very much, it takes 4 or 5 years to really know what the character of your distillery is. Now, I know what certain equipment's going to do. I know what certain yeast is going to do. I know the differentials between them and how to play off them. But part of that knowing is not so much the practical aspect of it as it is the intuition of being a distiller who has run the repertoire so many times with so many different things that, like, I may not be able to tell you exactly what a thing's going to do, but I can pretty much damn well tell you where at in the ballpark it's going to fall. And I already see kind of where the character and the spirit of that distillery is going to be at. It is very much in the vein of obviously what I've always done at Copper and King, Spirits of French Lick, but pushing that envelope into what I did as a home distiller and a moonshiner and making that into a more accessible thing for people who want to drink experiential, intuitively fermented and distilled products that don't fit the standard TTB identity for products and that sort of thing. We certainly make I would say the white spirit coming off still, not counting, we've got different categories. Let's just talk about things that will become whiskey or whiskey-like. The white spirit coming off of those stills is big, bold, floral, herbal, sometimes a little culinary in nature, unctuous for sure, very oily. And it doesn't matter which variation we do, because we can do double pot, we can do single pass short column at 120 to 140. We can do single pass double thumper at 140. Even with the same mash bill, same yeast, etc., all 3 expressions taste entirely different from one another. Nothing at Old Homestead will be standard. It will be less standard than Spirits of French Lick ever was less standard. It'll be less standard than anybody out there on the market. It will be its entirely own. It's I don't know the best way to explain it other than listen. You can take Captain Jack Sparrow off of the Black Pearl, but whatever ship that he's on, he's going to sell it his way, right? And especially if he's got that little compass in his hand that tells him what he really wants. And I've got that little compass in my hand now that tells me what I really want. And I'm going to follow it. And I'm going to make a whole bunch of people follow me with it.
There you go. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it too.
But you do have whereas location where you're located. I mean, honestly, there's a certain amount of Indiana that gets dumped in your lap, and not necessarily just because of the distillery. Like they don't have to go. They're there on the weekends. And it's unlike any other place I've been to, because how many places has a brewery, a winery, and a distillery all within a football field's 100 yards of each other, right?
Let's make it better. And the marina.
Oh, yeah.
Only one place, and it's known as Alcohol Acres, AA. One place in the whole world.
And then just for shits and giggles, you threw in a hotel.
Yeah, we did.
You had
yeah,
to,
we did.
because
With a brewery, a winery, and a distillery, all within that, and
I
the
can
lake,
get-
and the
I
lake
can get you
too.
drunk. You can have a good time. I can get you drunk, and as long as you can crawl to that hotel room, guess what? I can go home at night and I can sleep like a baby, not worrying about nobody or no consequences.
I don't have to worry about it either, because they can get up the next morning.
That's right. They'll hear that
Oh.
steam whistle going off on that still. That'll get them up.
Oh, and then the next morning you just roll out and there's a coffee shop. You got it all.
Go.
Plus, I mean,
Yep.
good restaurant,
Yep.
a good restaurant right next door. I mean, good. I mean, it's just the coffee shop serves breakfast. I mean, realistically, it's a one-stop shop for vacationing, partying Indiana. And
You can't get any better if you want to get out in the sticks and the heath and you want to have a good time and you don't want to be in the middle of everybody and everything. We got almost 9,000 acres worth of lake and lakefront there with the Patoka Lake area. You got like you said, all the things there at Alcohol Acres. We also have, the restaurant in the lobby. We also have the restaurant right there on the property as well. Oh man, the name of it's slipping me, and I'm gonna get smacked for that, guaranteed. The most underutilized thing that is there. I'm gonna tell you guys a little trade secret about Alcohol Acres. I'm all about the restaurant that's in the hotel lobby, and I'm all about that other restaurant there. I can't think of the name of it, but down the road there's another restaurant, same ownership, not us, separate people. There's a place called is it Finn's? I think that's what it's called. Anyways, one of the two restaurants right there has got the greatest hangover food ever, and I'm going to tell you guys about it. It's the one that's a little closer to the highway. So they have a Big Mac pizza, and I don't know if you've ever had a Big Mac pizza, but it is exactly what you think it is. It tastes exactly like a Big Mac on a pizza, and is the single greatest hangover cure on the face of the planet.
Man, that sounds awesome.
well,
So it don't get much more Hoosier or Hoosier occupied Northern
Recording
Kentucky
in
than what we got
progress.
going on.
okay, so the one thing that if anybody has never met Alan or know about Alan is that his enjoyment of distilling is only put up the only thing that I think that you enjoy more is food.
You
It's
call
like-
me Fat Jeffrey Mullen.
No, I
think
never.
you did.
You are not. You
I
have to.
think-
You have to ride your
Yeah,
bike, but
I think
no.
there was a big insinuation there.
You,
I
you
caught that
love
too, Alan.
you love food. I mean, there was a restaurant. I mean, you will tell people about the best food there is to tell people about and where it is. And when you tell somebody about a pizza, a Big Mac pizza, which we're probably going to get in trouble on that one, but at the same time, you tell somebody about that, we know you've eaten it many times.
What you call fat, I like to call power. But yes, I love food. You're not wrong. You are not wrong.
But I do not. You
I
are
do
not
love
fat. I mean, I would never. I'm not calling you.
I'm
Called
just messing with you,
yourself
brother.
fat.
Listen, I'm aware that I am a small D-shaped human, and it's okay. I'm comfortable with that at this point in my life. It's all good. It's all good.
Well, you changed the shape this last past summer, and and the only
When-
thing that sucks is when you bike. It's great if you get into it and you get in a rhythm, but when it starts to get cold, it's just like running. At first, you think it's really not that cold, and you live in Indiana. I live in Ohio. I lived in Wisconsin, but there's a point where you're just like, "Fuck this shit." You got to find something else once it's winter, right?
I'll touch on the bike thing real quick before we go back into distilling related stuff. But it's not the cold. The cold I can deal with. I like cold weather. I actually love cold weather. It's the wind. The wind. Fuck the wind.
Yeah.
The wind on a bicycle riding into a headwind. Oh my God. You might as well. It's like biking through a tar pit. You can't do it. I can't do it anyways. So.
Well, I could put it this way. The fact that you're saying the wind makes the cold even colder, and it makes the worst part is your hands or your feet. It just strips you. And it doesn't have to be, it could be. Do you notice there might be a 28-degree day that you go out in, and after a bunch of below zero days, it feels warm. But then there's that 28-degree day where it just almost feels like it's zero because it's got so much moisture and the wind's whipping through, still making your hands not work. Sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, up here.
Absolutely.
I'm a big guy, and I love the winter and the cold a whole lot more. Missed the days when I was living in Colorado and all that, but put me in the sun and the heat. The big guy can't survive. I mean, you can only do so much to cool down. Only so many clothes you can take off legally.
Well,
one of the beautiful things about Old Homestead is, and we're trying to get more people there in the wintertime in particular, and we'll be doing a lot of events around that. They're doing a lot of events in the event center and stuff like that, comedy shows and masquerades and murder mystery stuff. But, you can come in, it's cold outside, and I'll sell you some liquid sunshine and it'll warm you right up. So,
yeah.
Well, yeah, there's no doubt. And the one thing, okay, so let's just talk about starting. I know that it's kind of ironic that when you left where you were before, you were at the point where things were going to get humming. You could have a little bit more age spirits. You could still be making the new stuff. You were just at that point, and you went through it. You went through learning all the equipment. Now you go back and do it again. Now, to do it again, I'm sure there's days where you're like, okay, this still sucks at this point, but I'll get through it. But then there's the days where you're like, holy shit, my changes this time is making it this much easier, or I'm getting a better result because you're doing it a second time. Talk about that, starting over, because it's, I mean, I don't care what you tell me, it's gotta, anytime you start over after you've developed something and you do it better, you can do it better. I know that. And I think you have at this point, all aspects of doing it better. You know what I'm saying? All the aspects, the people, the whole thing, and you've never lost your, what would you say? Your social media, identity, or what you're putting out there, because we all know you got to, you could sit there and go in your little corner. I think one of the, I don't know if you ever been to Glens Creek, but Dave there, he does that. But if you don't market properly, you need the certain amount of success by marketing your brand of who you are, so that people want to drink what you're doing, because otherwise that's part of it, right?
That was a complex question, but yes. So, so one of the reasons I don't think that and not to say that there aren't people who have not followed me closely. Some people dropped off when I left Spirits of French Lick, and that's okay. I took note of that. I know who they are, and I know why they were around me in the first place, and it was because they could get something from me, and a little bit of success that I had would help them out. And listen, I took names. I wrote them down. I know who they are, and guess who ain't getting in the loop this time around? But one of the things I think has always helped me, Jeff and Martin, and you guys know this about me, is I'm not at one point in time, maybe I was playing a character, but what I'm doing now is not a character. What you see of me on social media is me. And the distilling thing, unlike a lot of distillers out there, I think, and I don't say this as a slight, this is my lifestyle. I would be doing this whether or not I was working a normal 40-hour-a-week job or whatever I was doing. I'd be doing it in my basement. Nothing would change other than the fact that nobody would know about it. That's all that would change. is the only thing I've ever been really, really good at. And I consider myself as much a storyteller as I am a distiller. And so one of the people that I look at, so this is actually my third time starting over. Now, this time I've got some ownership, and I consider this the last one as far as I'm concerned. One of the things I look at quite often, I like to look at musicians and writers and poets and things of that nature. But I look at David Bowie a lot, because Bowie constantly reinvented himself. He would tear himself down and start completely over. And I've done that 3 times now. But the beauty of this is that within Old Homestead, I can keep tearing myself down and starting over in many, many ways, right? There are days where, yes, no matter how much you love what you do, there are days where you get there and you, fuck this. Why am I here? What am I doing? Clearly, I don't know what I'm doing. And the self-doubt sort of creeps in. And it can get the better of you, especially if you are dumb enough in this industry. And I say that with all sincerity to people that need to hear it. If you are dumb enough in this industry to think that you need the validation of all those people who didn't follow me over from the previous employer because I can no longer do them any favors because I'm somehow not on top of the world, or people who come up to me at events and say things like, oh, and this is a great one, things like, oh man, let me know when you have some good whiskey so I know when to come visit you. Now, kiss my ass. I've already got distilled spirits on hand. If we were friends, you'd already be coming and visiting. You ain't on the list now, right? So there's always a little bit of a underdog with me. I like being the underdog. That's why I like working for small distilleries. I like to punch up, and I like to surprise people by what I know how to do and what I can do. There's nothing better than knowing that someone looks at you like you're a dumb hick and they couldn't accomplish anything, and then you get to rub it in their face. And so the more adversity that there is essentially when I start off, the more of a mountain there is to climb, the more I want to do it. The more I'm determined to be like, no, dude, your perception is that you think that you know something about the distilled spirits industry. And my perception of you, because you look down on me, because you think somehow you're smarter than I am, is that I'm going to prove you wrong just because I can, right? That's what I love about Old Homestead. It's in the middle of nowhere, but it's also within an hour of Louisville, Kentucky, right?
Yeah.
That hour within Louisville, Kentucky is fantastic for me because guess what? I get you away from that town. I get you away from Bourbonville, and I get you up here in the Hoosier occupied Northern Kentucky, and you have a good time and you try something that you've never tried before. In 10 years, you're not going to be still talking about that same bourbon that tasted like everybody else's bourbon. You're going to be talking about the experience you had tasting the odd thing that you'd never tasted before that never existed in a distillery before. Right? That's what I do. So I shepherd my people, Jeff. I shepherd my people.
So you made the reference, which makes me so you made the reference to Bowie, okay? And I followed Bowie from the time. I mean, it's like when I was listening to music in late 70s. I was too young in the early 70s, but once I started listening to it, he put his greatest hits out. But then I started listening to his albums like Low and some of his other albums that he put out that weren't mainstream pop music. He basically musically expressed himself, and then every once in a while he would just basically, and I will say this respectfully, shit out a pop album that would go and put, just dance, let's dance and get me to the church. That was a pop album designed to do charts and keep himself relevant in the industry. So let me throw this out. Your pop album should be, in between all this, your pop album should be a bourbon. You throw down
my
bourbon.
B-side is a bourbon, Jeff. My B-side is a bourbon, buddy.
Okay, so as long as you're making B-sides, I'm right there with you, and I'm always there anyways, but I want to listen to the B-side too. Because what you laid down as far as bourbon is so fucking different than other people's bourbons, right?
Right, but see, I know I see what you're getting at. So let me phrase it this way. So when it comes to a pop album, my pop albums would be those things that are widely accessible to everyone. So things like the Flavored Sunshines, things of that nature, right? Where you don't have to be like, You don't have to be an expert to enjoy it or to understand what it is. It just is what it is. You drink it, you feel good, it tastes good, it makes you happy, it's got some sugar in it, whatever. So when it comes to the bourbon thing, to be honest with you, and not that we're not going to make a little bourbon, because we are, and I'll talk about that momentarily, but the bourbon, the little bit of bourbon that we make at Old Homestead, twofold. First and foremost, this coming spring, there will be bourbon going into distribution, Bartles and Bishop. First product's ever had my name on it, ever.
Wow.
There will also
cool.
be an Alice Bean. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about that.
Where does Bartles come from?
That's where I was going to say, where does Bartles come in at?
Stephen Bartels, who is one of the owners of the distillery, one of our state reps here in the state of Indiana. He's a former police officer, and I'm a former moonshiner. So you can already see how that story sort of develops, right? So, and we have Bo Cumberland did the artwork for that label. There'll be a Thomas Green Rye whiskey. That's all the stuff that we distilled at Moondrops in northern Indianapolis, where I laid out mash bills for them, yeast, protocols, all that stuff. We can't put it in tasting room. It will be in distribution. We will have single barrels available of all those things as well. All right. Now, in the future, though, when Bartles and Bishop gets released, it will not be bourbon. And we can talk about that in a little bit. If you remind me, I'll tell you exactly what it will be and exactly what it will not be. The little bit of bourbon that we make in the distillery, and I'm talking, we're probably going to make less than 20 barrels of bourbon a year if we make that.
Okay.
That will only ever be available in the tasting room or as potential single barrels. Because, listen, I pushed bourbon just about as hard as bourbon could be pushed within the craft distilling world, right? It didn't have a whole lot of levity left for where you could go, right? You can only do so many variations on a mash bill with different grains, etc. Not to mention that bourbon is not doing fantastic. It hasn't died. Don't get me wrong, and it's not going away.
It's not growing. It's contracting a little bit and like whatever, but it's still doing all right. But what I will say is, what about are we still talking American whiskey though?
So this is where it gets fun. All right. So there was a time where, say, 5 years ago, I would have never thought about putting this on a label ever. So at one point in time, TTB was letting a lot of things slide as American whiskey. And I thought maybe we'd slide into that category. And the more I thought about what we do, the limitations that I do not want to have, period, whatsoever, we're going to fall mostly into two categories. It's either going to be whiskey, which if it's just whiskey, I will tell you exactly what it is. Or it is going to be something along the lines of, and you have to imagine this in your head, okay? And you have to imagine that I'm the storyteller and I'm telling you the story. So, and you know that I'm completely transparent about everything. Anybody can ask me about anything I do production-wise, and I'll gladly tell you. So you think Old Homestead, okay? And then you think that Bartles and Bishop sort of name. All right, so if I dropped into American whiskey, even if TT would let me, and I could probably get it through the labeling process as an American whiskey, but I feel like it'd be much less truthful, and I feel like TTB pushed back on it. So, Old Homestead, Bartles and Bishop, and then the category itself is actually whiskey distilled from a bourbon mash. And I'm going to tell you why it's whiskey distilled from a bourbon mash. Because it's completely honest, because the average consumer doesn't care that it's whiskey distilled from bourbon mash. What they care about is it's whiskey and it has a story and it's experiential and it's good. That's what most consumers are really concerned about. Okay. It also does one thing in one breath, or two things in one breath. Whiskey distilled from a bourbon mash tells you exactly what it is and exactly what it is not in one breath, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is a bourbon mash in that it's 51% or better corn, but that's as far as that bourbon connotation goes when it comes to whiskey distilled from a bourbon mash. All right. It's barreled into used barrels. Now, when I say used barrels, that can include what you and I might consider new American oak. All right. What that is where I wash my barrels out with water and a little bit of Hart's solution the day before I fill them. For you and I and our purposes, that's still new American oak. TTB considers it used oak. That includes high barrel entry proof. So I'm not limited to 125 proof. I can go entry proof at 140. That includes 2.5% harmless flavoring or coloring. which you don't have to do post distillation, by the way. They never say you have to do it post distillation. They just basically say you can't do it during fermentation. They don't stop you from doing it during distillation. We're not ever going to be adding coloring or anything of that nature post distillation. That's not going to happen. I still stick to the purity thing of that. But what that category does do, or what any of those categories, whiskey distilled from a rye mash, whiskey distilled from wheat mash, that allows me to add some colors and textures that bourbon and or straight whiskey and or bonded whiskey would not allow me to do.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? I'm painting
instead of 100% the moonshiner in you to be able to add that little bit of flavor from something else. What you're doing, what you said right there. Okay. I don't honestly. I when you're in the same category of whiskey, a bourbon mash, and everything, it doesn't actually for me have to, it's not about bourbon. I will tell you this, what you said, there's a bunch of you need it was oh my god, what was having people on by you going on podcasts and people getting to understand what you're saying to them and what you're doing, that is a huge thing of the time and effort. And it's the same thing with what I've seen with any other brand. If the person's willing to do podcasts, go do tastings or talks like you do. You know, you have the historian aspect in you where you tell stories, but then your whiskey can go along with those stories, or your spirits that everything. I mean, the Alchemist of the Black Forest is a fantastic descriptive thing where people really want to understand what you're trying to say. But if you weren't there backing it up, that's a problem. There's so many places where I've met the distiller. We could take Paul Letgo. He basically, I mean, for God's sakes, he's a great guy. He's unique. But how few doesn't do well in Ohio is he's never around to make somebody go, well, I saw him and he did this and he was on a podcast, or I met him. And it doesn't make you want to buy that on the shelf. You got to put something behind it, and it's a story or the start of a story, like you are right there. You have a lot of history, but this is a new distillery, and you're starting. But also there's also why do so many distillers move around, and there's so many different reasons to that, right? People can determine it. Sometimes you could be at a place too long, right?
Right.
I could tell.
Well, I think the easy way to sort of think about those things too is, and this is what Jolie and I have talked about, and Tyler and I. So Tyler will be able to do all the things I do too. He knows the stories. He's learning that, stepping into that as well, which I need. We will do several things. One of those things is to make uncommon whiskey for common people, right? People who go out and bust their knuckles 40 hours a week, and they're not worried about what those bourbon rules are. They don't give a shit what those bourbon rules are, as long as what's in their glass is good and it gives them an experience and a little escapism and brings them joy and happiness. And of course, obviously, Jeff and Martin, you guys know this about me. There will be things for the dorkiest of the dorky that want to get all the way down in the nitty gritty dirt with me and talk about the weird shit that, like, not just weird stuff, but those subcategories. Like when it comes to a little bit of bourbon we make, it will be very specifically my style of bourbon. There just won't be a whole lot of it, right? So it's something for everybody. Well, that's the goal. I got to have something for everybody. Well, and the other thing we got to realize here. So this is where distillers are making a mistake right now. Everybody is spending. This is the biggest mistake I see out there. Everybody's spending too much time tied up with conjecture about what the current bourbon market is doing, as opposed to, if you were smart and you're not already established, you would step back and you would say, okay, it doesn't matter what that market is doing. What matters is, what is this generation that's coming up interested in, and what is the generation behind them interested in? Because if you're not already thinking about that, and I can't tell you what we're doing yet, promise you'll be one of the first ones to know. If you are not thinking along those lines, you're already done 10 years from now. No matter how good you're doing right now, you're done 10 years from now.
Yeah, so many of these big distilleries out there now, they've played on the market and what their bourbons and whiskeys are doing, and they've played to the older crowd. They're not really looking towards this younger generation, this new generation of whiskey drinker, bourbon drinker that's coming in now. Because there's so many of them, like I say, they want something in their glass that's going to give them an experience, an escape, a taste, that they can relate to.
Well,
And
Yeah, and I don't desire to be like 10 or 20 years from now. Like, I don't want to be the old distiller that's trying to be cool. But here's what I do desire to be. I desire to be the old distiller where they're like, yeah, he's all right. He's all right. He gets it. You know what I mean? I'll settle for that. He's the cool grandpa.
For God's sakes, look at your dad. Holy shit. What kind of, he has a presence. Everybody knows about him. And you know what? You want to be the distiller that everybody cares about. It's just like, I just know how many people reached out. I mean, your dad had to be blown away how many people reached out to him when he had his hip surgery, right? I mean, that is something.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that I think the success of your father in the distilling industry is something that, you've talked about it so many times. You got to work with him. You drove him to work. You guys drove to work together and everything. And now he's at separate places in a different place, but he's amongst friends. He's in good hands, and he's, it's really kind of cool to see that. But as far as like where you're going,
who'd have thought that? Who'd have thought that too, Jeff? Right? That now the Bishop family name's like a distilling fucking dynasty, right?
Yeah.
One of us in Indiana, one of us in Kentucky. Listen, we're invading other states. We're invading Kentucky now. He's distilling at Old Carter. How cool is that?
Right. You want to be in Indiana, Alan, but you could be anywhere you want to be doing this. That's one thing. The knowledge that you have and the ability to do this, you pretty much could have. I think you could have pretty much gone anywhere you wanted to. You could have, but where you wanted to go is where you are. I mean, at one point, I wouldn't say directly that. I don't even know how to describe your personality. Are you a people person? I wouldn't say you're a phenomenal select people person. But when it comes to a general people person, you've learned how to go about existing in this world, but at the same time, I wouldn't call you a people person, right? You would agree with that.
Tread lightly there, Tiny.
I'm very good at doing what I do in terms of telling stories and being a culture keeper. And but I'll tell you, and anybody who knows me knows this. I'm not nearly as feral as I once was, obviously. But I'm drinking absinthe tonight, and that's the first time I've drank in forever. But listen. I grew up as an only child and only had one cousin that was close. And I value my time and my privacy. And when I say my privacy, I mean my privacy to do the things that I share with everyone, right? Like, so in other words, I'm not necessarily trying to be everybody's best friend. And I'm certainly, you put me in a room, if you got me talking to people, I'll talk as long as you want me to, but as soon as I get the chance to get out of that room, when I'm done talking, I'm leaving. I'm going home, because life is too short not to be spending every moment you can doing something creative. And nothing creative happens in those rooms generally after you finish speaking.
There's no doubt you have a persona of going out, but how about this? You're guarded. You have a guarded aspect to yourself of it's not like just anybody can go, and one of the things that you don't appreciate is a lot of times people will come up to you and through everything and act like they are your best friend, whereas that's a kind of a hard thing. Where overall, I just think for what you do. Now, I will tell you this. I'll give you this is meant as a compliment. You would have made a really, really good moonshiner at during the time when moonshining wasn't a TV show. you could have done. You have all the skills to be able to do this. There's no doubt. And the craft in what you love is, for me, that is one thing that just to see how you go about doing it is why it's artistry. It's alchemy, but it's artistry. And the artist in me, when I met you, of how you did things so different. I mean, you do things and you go about them, but you still knew where you were before, that you had to put level of to get that where you wanted to be. You had to produce the whiskey you were producing, but you've already done that. You did that there. Now it's just like what was it? It was Picasso. A guy came up to him and asked him for him to draw him a picture and sign it, and he did it on a napkin, drew a picture, a little bit of abstract picture and whatever. And the guy said, well, can I have it? And he said, no. And he said, why not? He goes, do you have $5,000? And he said, why would I pay $5,000 for a picture on a napkin? He goes, because I took my whole life to learn how to do that, and I just don't give that away for free. People come up to him and think that everything's just accessible, but it's not, right? It's like there's a creativity and a part of your soul that you put into this and these spirits, and that's why I'm leading you into what you sent me, because I think that's a masterpiece.
That brings me to a case in point. I sure am glad that you didn't charge me $5,000 for that Lee W. Sinclair recipe that you wrote on the napkin that day.
I'm a little disappointed in myself that I'm not charging $5,000 or haven't charged $5,000 for all those pictures of dick-nosed dolphins I've drawn over the years.
I've got it hanging
right on the
in
bottom
here,
of this barrel under this table.
Hey, Alan, someone already offered me $5,000 for it, and I told him no.
Oh my God!
Listen, whoever that is, if you'll write to me, I'll sell you one for $2,500.
Damn it! I was trying to get $7,500. Here, I'll get the $7,500 and send you the $2,500. All right.
Now, you're correct in your assertion, though. So what I do, Jeff, and this is where I think there are a certain crowd of people that I get lost on, and I am fully aware of the fact that there's always a certain group of people. Like, everybody has this to some degree. There's a certain group of people, though, that like the existence of someone like me just pisses them off, and that's okay. I don't care. It is what it is. But you're correct in that what I do is very much so. It comes from the spirit. It comes from the heart. It comes from where I'm from, who I am, who raised me, who I was around when I was a kid. I don't separate any of the aspects of my life. I just don't. And I know that, some of the big guys that you have in the industry, they'll say, well, that's not being very professional. I don't care. This is who I am. This is what I do. Like it, don't like it, take it, love it, leave it, whatever it is. Right. But if you stick with me and you have the attention span and you have the adventure in you, you'll see something really, really cool. You'll experience something really interesting. I'll take you to the depths and I'll bring you back and I'll give you an experience and I'll give you joy and I'll give you social lubrication, and you'll see your world in a very different way. If you just listen to what I'm doing, take a look at what I'm doing, and take a minute to step outside of what might be your ordinary comfort zone, you'll find an entirely different world out there, right? And not everybody has to do that, because I make things too. Don't get me wrong. I don't want anybody to get me wrong. I make things too at Old Homestead to fit the crowd that doesn't want to ask any of those questions, talk about any of those things, and that's okay too. That's fine. Well, that's all right. But when it comes to the depths, I'm all about, listen, let's take you through the initiation. Let's take you through the ritual. Let's take you through and let's tell you a story, and you're going to learn something today, you know?
Well, you're so older
That's what I've
beyond
always thought. It's
beyond
been
your
so cool.
you're so older beyond your years, okay? The one thing but see where you understand what you're doing is that I'll go to an Amadeus moment. All he wanted to do is write operas, and he didn't want to take students. He thought he was above that. But making that for the crowd, and he died poor. Writing operas and making beautiful music wasn't what paid for. So if you don't do something for the crowd and whatever, and something that's going to make money and do the thing, eventually that's what everything's about. Is you do the spirit, and what you're doing, it's going to, you want it to make money, but the basis helps you make money. And I don't want to say easy money. It's just playing to, like you said, the crowd, and that keeps you able to do the operas and
Well, and to be fair, Tyler and I and Jolie and let me say this. So the platform that I have at Old Homestead, via Stephen Bartels, Steve Shirk, Heather Setzer, etc., is a fantastic platform to be able to work off of to do these sort of things. There's absolutely zero doubt about that, and I'm very thankful for it. Jolie and Tyler and I will all tell you the same thing as well when it comes to those things that do pay the bills. We're still exceptionally proud of them, right? Like the flavored sunshine spirits, they may not necessarily be my thing, but you know what? When I can step outside of my ego and my own shadow and just have a shot of those fucking cinnamon sunshine spirits, they're pretty fucking good. They're not bad, right? And Tyler, man, I'll tell you guys, Tyler takes that shit seriously. When he distills that base alcohol, he puts the same love and heart into that he does when he's distilling any of our whiskeys or brandies or anything of that nature. So yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You have to, I have to cater to the crowd. It took me a number of years to get to the point of realizing that might be the case, but that is the case. And I'm all about it. Listen, I can go out, and you know how I am, guys. I can go out and have a good time on a boat with a bunch of guys, slamming a few beers and having a few shots of schnapps. We can go do that. That's okay. That ain't nothing wrong with that. Everybody needs a good lost Sunday every once in a while.
Well,
So.
I find that but the sunshine is cool as hell. Is your process is a story. I mean, you're talking about where you're using sunflower seeds to make that, and what you do with those in those barrels, and do the fermentation and all the stuff that's in there, and when it's going, and you put that out there, and all the roasting and all. I mean, it's a cool freaking process. So you're kind of paying tribute to the moonshining aspect, and we all know what regular moonshine tastes like. It tastes like, if you just take what's off the still and put it out there, some people enjoy that, but that's not always the most enjoyable experience. That's why they have flavored moonshines, and some people flavor them better than others. But at the same time, the sunshine, though, that lemon and the cinnamon and everything, I'm not saying for 1 second that it does. Who doesn't like a lemon drop? Just that.
When they start adding flavor, they ain't doing something right. Because I've tasted a lot of grain spirits that, just so much good flavor of the grains that are coming out, and it's got to be done right.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, no, it's you have to have those sort of things for the general public, right? Like, you have different levels of involvement, whatever it is, right? Like, I guess like video games might be an easy example. Like you might have the average person that plays whatever video game, but then you got, and whatever video game that is, it's popular at the moment, whether it's on your phone or some console or the computer or whatever. right? Maybe you have that. And so you consider yourself a quote unquote gamer, like a person thinks of themselves as a drinker. But then you have the person with the supercomputer with, you know, the massive wall of screens, and, you know, they're all in on it. But, you know, the people with the supercomputer, they're not paying the bills. It's the people with the average gaming system that consider themselves gamers. They're the ones they will fund the cool shit that you want to do, right? And all of it's cool. I mean, don't get me wrong. I wake up every day thankful that I get to go distill for a living as opposed to digging ditches or whatever. And not that there's anything wrong with that. Just I know what my skill set is, and my skill set is very limited in general. So I'm very thankful that I get to do that for people. And I've also come to the conclusion recently that I'm very thankful for the idea that I get to be a part in some weird tangential way for all of the classes of people that drink. I get to be a part of their life in terms of weddings and funerals and moments of joy and moments of shit. I really need to say something to somebody, but I don't have the social levity to be able to say it without a little bit of inebriation in me. There's a particular power and magic in that that's pretty special, honestly, when I think about the number of things that, you know, moments that people have with the spirits that I'm able to create. I think that's I don't know, there's something really, really cool about that and really interesting to me. So
That's pretty awesome.
Okay.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I think so.
So you did I'm going to try and say this word, the palindrome, right? The palindrome. Did I say that right? The brandy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did say it right. A palindrome.
Yep. Palindrome. Yep.
Oh my God. That's amazing. So when you did that was high proof. And then now that you're here, and that was an apple brandy, right? If I'm not mistaken. Smoked apple brandy?
It was a 3 or 4 years of new American oak apple brandy, and then it went into a used peated Scotch sherry butt for a year or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, so that's why. I mean, all right. So you came out with the Black Forest spirits that I got the first one, right? The 50 what was it? 50 proof?
70 proof, was that 9 herb charm? Yeah, 70 proof.
Okay.
Yep.
So, and you know, the spirit's kind of light, and it's kind of I would say it was kind of refreshing, more like almost like somewhat of a, like, if you were going to say it, an herbal liqueur.
Yeah.
You know,
A lot like an herbal tea, or like a chartreuse or strega, something of that nature. And we sell the hell out of it. I wish it wasn't such a pain in the ass to make, because we can't keep up with it. It constantly sells out and has to be remade. So,
well, yes, and that isn't a bad thing, right? Found something that it's niche, but now, so we talked about that on the podcast the last time. You know, that's what you had out, and whatever, and I picked it up, and I enjoy this, but now under the same label, Black Forest Spirits, you put this out, and you need to talk about this because, all right, it's the Wycliffe bell, which is an actual bell, correct? Because I saw the picture online, and that's what, you know, when you make something, a lot of times you pay, if it's got a name, and you will always pay homage to it because you respect history. So, but my question is, you know, I got it. You sent it up for a sample. Kim sent me the letter that you sent out. She
Yep.
She Facebooked it to me today, so I read it. So I figured I wanted to taste it beforehand, because honestly, you definitely said you want an honest opinion, and I wanted to make sure that going into this, I knew what my honest opinion was. And then also, I wasn't going to give you a bad honest opinion if I actually thought it was bad. But, you know, there's always that thing that it's not your cup of tea. It's not that it's done, whatever.
okay.
But that's not what this is. This would be my cup of tea. But what you did to make this, let's go into it, is kind of like everything that it is insane. It's not anything really like the first one, correct? I mean, what is now my proof got erased. I don't know how. It must have been that it was cold when it got shipped up.
And smudges, yeah. 139.2.
So not 70. Not 70 proof. So when I poured it, it wasn't under the thing. I was thinking that we're going to be a little bit towards this, but I knew right away that it was more like the palindrome because it's very
whiskey.
What? Say that again.
Much more like whiskey. You'll be surprised. I think it's much more like whiskey.
But there
much more. So
there was the hazmat aspect to both of them. And then you did mention that you put it in a peated Scotch barrel, right? Right? That was the palindrome. Now this one, talk about what you did to this, because we're talking about a lot of the same things are going into this. Now, this is how much I love it. This is a hand-blown glass that I purchased at a glass blowing studio. I believe it was in Wisconsin. But they were making that green glass and made it. And I only pull this out for something where I feel it's appropriate. I've used this for absinthe. I've used this for some dusties. And I think that this definitely goes about and deserves to be in the glass. So talk about it now.
And you get it, Jeff. So using that glass is an example of why I sent that letter. So for people who don't know about the letter, and trust me, if you're close to me at some point, you'll get the letter too. So every time we roll out with something, I'm gonna pick randomly. I'm just telling you guys right now, I'll pick randomly a few people that get a bottle. It won't be the same people for each bottle. It'll be different people every time. People have supported me over the years. And that comes with a letter, and that letter explains to you in a way that you understand that this is exactly who and what I am. And it's not just about, being an influencer or anything of that nature. In fact, those people are off the list. Like I said, I've scratched them off the list. I don't give a shit. It's fine. They come around. So first and foremost, let me say, Jeff, whether you like it or you don't like it, I want to know one way or the other, because I'm very, very proud of it. I know that sounds trite to say because I'm the producer, but let me tell you what it is. So our distillery sets geographically, obviously by Patoka Lake, but we set between two old towns that no longer exist. The town of Newton Stewart, which is now mostly underwater. It was covered up by Patoka Lake in the late 70s. And Wycliffe, which was an old town on the other side of us. So Newton Stewart was founded by two Stewart brothers that were related to the Stewart royal family in the British Isles. They were from Ireland, and they were from the town of Newton. Therefore, the name of the town was Newton Stewart. There were a number of moonshiners in that local area, especially around the time the lake was built. And when they built the lake, the government came in and eminent domained everybody. And so they were paying as little as $50 an acre for people's property. So these three moonshiners sort of banded together in the late 70s. And what they would do is every time the government buy a piece of property, they would set up a still on that piece of property. So that way, if the still got busted, as long as they weren't there, nobody got in trouble because it was on government property. You couldn't prove who owned anything. So Julie and I, day one, an old homestead, we went down to Newton Stewart out behind. There's one building there that's left. It was the old general store. We went out behind there and we actually set yeast traps and captured yeast. And that's what we mostly use for the Black Forest spirits. The Newton Stewart yeast strain, which is wild yeast strain. Wycliffe is named after John Wycliffe, who was an English church reformer. Well, they say it's named after him, but a lot of the early settlers at Wycliffe were from Wales, and the word Wycliffe means white cliff. Pretty much all that's left of that town now is the old cemetery, and that old cemetery has got a shelter house in the middle of it that has the old church bell in the middle of it. And the cool thing is they set it up to where you can still ring the church bell. Now, I've always joked that what I do when it comes to storytelling is a little bit of positive necromancy. So you can imagine my utter joy as someone who's into esoterica and the occult when I realized you could still ring that bell, right? What a great way to be able to talk to the spirits of the place over there, right? And say, hey, I'm here, guys. Pay attention. So what the spirit is that you're tasting is, this is what we call a very special spirit. It's literally a DSS by TTB standards. DSS means distilled spirit specialty, and what that basically equates to is TTB has no idea what the fuck to call it. So if they don't know what to call it, it falls into DSS. And I love it because it is an highly, highly underutilized category, especially if you want to make experiential spirits. Things that, again, people will be talking about 10 years from now, as opposed to whatever the bourbon of the minute is at the time, right? 10 years from now, the bourbon of the minute, probably not going to come up in conversation. 10 years from now, that weird, smoky, appley thing that we had at Old Homestead might still come up in the conversation. So what we did is Tyler and I had Caleb up at Sugar Creek Malt. He malted some oats for us, and he ground those oats, and he sent them to us. We then took those oats, we moistened them down, sprayed them down with some good water, and we put those in our toaster oven with some Irish peat. We peat smoked those oats really heavily, which also roasted and toasted those oats at the same time. While we were doing that, we also took a bunch of apples and we peat smoked those apples.
I have a question real quick. What the hell does Irish peat look like? Because I've heard so many different things what Irish peat could be. Could be a block of ancient sheep shit. I mean, what does it actually look like when you buy it?
So what Irish peat is the breakdown of, peat can be the breakdown typically of deciduous material. That's material that comes back year after year. So that in Ireland, they'll call it turf. And what it looks like is, it looks like somebody cut a piece of, we buy logs, basically. They're logs about yay big, yay wide. It looks like somebody cut a piece of soil that's solid out of the ground, but it is like the texture and hardness of like a soft wood, essentially, is what it looks like. We used Irish peat specifically because there's a little bit more of a fruity sort of character that comes with Irish peat, but also because Newton Stewart was settled by the Irish, like I said. The Irish have a poaching tradition, which is Irish moonshine, where they use Irish peat to be able to smoke the various grains they use for that, including oats. And in Wales, they have something similar to poaching. They don't really have a name for it, but using the same sort of materials just from Wales. So we peat smoked both those components, and then we put that into 53-gallon open top former whiskey barrels that we use as fermenters, and we added cane sugar to that, and we fermented that. And after fermentation, we put that into Artemisia, which is our 250-gallon pot still with a double thumper system on it. And we did a single pass distillation, whereupon we peat smoked even more apples and put those into the thumper to up that apple characteristic and also up that peat characteristic. Again, in tribute to Irish poaching, Welsh style poaching, to the town of Newton Stewart, to the town of Wycliffe. We cut that as you would a white spirit, which means there's no heads in there, there's no tails in there. We wanted it as clean cut as what it can possibly be. And what we did from there is we rested it in a new oak barrel. So a new oak cask, I apologize. I don't use the word barrel. So we went into a new oak cask, number 3 char. So for anybody who's followed me, number 3 char is very rare for me. I always use number 2 char on almost everything. I would like to say that I picked number 3 char because it worked out perfectly, but I didn't. They just happened to have some number 3 char barrels on hand when I got there, and I needed to use them. And so Wycliffe sort of fit that mold. And so what we are doing there is we're not looking for maturation the way that you would with a bourbon or a whiskey or something of that nature. We are looking for balance between fresh spirit off the still, wood sugar, and color, so that way you're still getting all the positive aspects of that fresh spirit, but we're knocking some of the edges off, some of the roughness off, adding a little wood sugar to it, a little sweetness to it, a little roundness to it. And to me, and to Jolie, and to Tyler, and to Steve Bartels, and Steve Shirk, and Heather Setzer, it drinks very much like a smoked whiskey. For being young, it is, it's not even, again, it's not aged. That's not what we're trying to do. We're not trying to mature. It's rested for I think it was 16 months total, a year and 4 months in our warehouse. It drinks way under the proof that it is. We bottled it at cask strength. It was 1 cask. We make less than 5 casks of that every year, and pretty much every one of them goes into a different type of barrel or has some variation on it. We will only release a cask of that when the first one sells out. It will always be at barrel strength. So that one's at 139.2. And the reason for that is, so for example, Lefroy used to always say that their whiskey was an extract whiskey. And the idea behind that was it was kind of choose your own adventure, right? How much water do you like with it? How much water do you not like with it? That's entirely up to you. And as you add water, even small amounts to that special spirit, which is not a common whiskey, it's going to change entirely throughout the drinking experience. The other thing is that we're not too highbrow to say that makes an excellent highball with Coca-Cola. So in Ireland, they serve something, in Scotland too, that they call smoky cokey, which is a smoky whiskey with Coca-Cola. And although it sounds weird, it is absolutely delicious.
Looks like it. I got to say, that color that I'm looking in the bottle, that looks, I swear that looks like, at least 3, 4, 5 year in the
Dark.
barrel. And you're only saying 16
It's
months.
How does it come
Yep.
off the still?
Yep.
Does it all come off the still clear?
Every bit of it comes off clear.
So is there any time something comes off with color?
For the most part, not unless you fucked up.
Oh, so
Occasionally you might have a botanical that'll carry a little color, like fresh ginger sometimes. If you look in the tank and you're using fresh ginger, like in bulk, it'll have a little yellow color, but once you put it in the bottle, you can't really see it. Other than that, unless you've puked the still or done something real silly, or you've got a dirty still, you shouldn't ever have any color.
Okay, so everything technically done right should have, for the most part, comes off clear. So all this color came from the barrel.
White spirit. When that white spirit came off the still, did it have, because I heard you say that you put the smoked apples in the thumper. Did it have that appley flavor and that flavor? Oh, man, I bet that was some good like, white spirit.
Oh,
And it's that apple characteristic is still there in the finished spirit. It's just a little more, it's more integrated across the board with the smoked oats as well. But if you look past the smoke, there, for me, because everything's subjective, right? For me, there is definitely an apple and oatmeal characteristic behind that spirit, without a doubt.
oh, yeah, the apple is 100%, but I will tell you, there is a hot cinnamon, red hot aspect, but it doesn't have quite the sting that like the red hot has, because the sweetness that's coming through on the apple, on this spirit, I will say that it does have an aspect with the peat of having a feel of a scotch. Okay, you're right when you talk about it, but it's so slight, it's not over peated. I do not like a lot of times the fruity aspect of an over peated scotch, because what happens is I find myself liking the sweetness of that fruitiness that you're getting from that scotch, but then sometimes if the peat's too much in that smoky of that peat, it just kind of gives you a taste of the sweetness and then just drowns it with too much smoke. Where this one, the sweetness overrides the smoke. There's no doubt from the apple aspect of it. And then there's a hot cinnamon aspect of it. And then, like I said, at 139, now I just added a little bit of water, like you said. Yeah, that calms at 139 down to really open up the spirit of picking up. I mean, the apple part of this, like the brandy apple part of it, but I mean, it's like it's like almost like if you took the the palindrome and then you dumped some scotch in it, and then found the perfect scotch and got the perfect balance of the smoke. Whereas I went back and had a little bit of the palindrome, and there was a definite, because I have some of that bottle, there's a definite, what would you say, parallel. And I think the parallel is partially because of the proof at 131 and 139. Those are high proof spirits. But I will tell you that my initial without knowing what the proof is, because it wasn't there, and then what I was expecting, that first sip, I really liked it. I mean, it is unique, and it's something now, like it's a sipper. There's no doubt about it. If this is not something that you're just going to sit and drink the bottle. You shouldn't be drinking the bottle in one night. This is something that you should cherish and respect, that the quality that's gone into it, and then hang on to it as long as you can while you're sipping it, and then share it with as many people as you can.
Like to me that you really got that balance from what he's talking about and all that you really found that balance between the smokiness and the apples and the spirit itself, like saying just going into the cask for 16 months.
It's Nash.
Yep.
I would be interested to see what you think on this one, because Nash is not a huge Scotch fan. I've gotten many bottles of Scotch that he purchased that he sent up to me because they were Scotch. It wasn't perfect.
I'm not a real big peated Scotch.
Right. I mean,
when the peat overwhelms the taste, the fruitiness, and the taste of the whiskey or the Scotch, then that's when I start disliking it.
Right. Sorry, I'm plugging up my charger, guys. I apologize. Give me just a second. So the interesting thing is, I'll make a little tasting note for you here. So the way that Irish peat works, so some of what you might think that you're getting is apple, Jeff, and that sweetness, and that is there. Don't get me wrong. So what works about this versus a peated Scotch is the phenolic level is entirely different than a peated Scotch, and it's an entirely different type of peat as well. So when you go back to that, just something to think on for a minute. And this is what makes this spirit interesting to me, because every time I go back to it, I get something a little bit different every time. And again, we're going for that experiential thing. So what's really interesting to me is when you go back to it, don't think apple, but think a little bit of hickory smoked barbecue, and see if that little unctuous character of hickory smoked barbecue isn't what starts coming across to you.
It really has like almost like a barbecue chip, that barbecue chip taste, that flavor they put on a barbecue chip, like when you like whatever, it's there. But I will tell you that I can tell the difference between the sweetness of the peat, because it's more, or the sweetness of the fact that the cane sugar, that's there. But then the sweetness of the apple flavor is there, no matter what you try and say. Now, would you consider an apple flavor, like you do, fruity? I mean, because I understand it's a fruit, but usually when I'm thinking of a fruit, I don't, in my whiskeys, it's usually some of the other, like a citrus, or that, the apricot, kind of thing, those flavors. Apple has its own flavor altogether that I think separates itself in whiskey, which then associates itself more towards brandy, because you pick all that, right? Would you say?
So an actual apple flavor in a whiskey is fairly rare. And what I mean by that is this.
I agree.
There's one compound, and I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but I will tell you where you can find it almost all the time. And it is very much a green apple characteristic. And the only whiskey I know of that it's common in is Cardew single malt, which is not a smoked whiskey. Now, the flavor that you associate with distilled apples, like what you have there, because those are fresh apples and not fermented apples, is an entirely different characteristic, and it's a little harder to put it's more of a stewed apple kind of character. I couldn't tell you what flavor compound that is. I don't honestly know off the top of my head. But it's a very different characteristic than, say, just a distilled apple would carry over, right? Because So when we put those apples in the thumper, for example, you have to remember that in that thumper, those apples are still quote unquote fresh apples. They still have sugar to them. So you're not distilling sugar over, but you are distilling over the aromatic principle of the various sugars and compounds that are stuck together within that particular thing. Hey, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to use the restroom real quick.
Yeah,
I got
go ahead.
pee really bad.
We'll talk.
So.
We'll talk
Right, I'll
amongst
be right back.
ourselves. I'll apologize, Super Nash. You get more questions in, and then we'll wrap it up and bring people in. Macaulay just came on. Tyler Richardson said, good night. Enjoy the Wycliffe Bell. And then Macaulay's here. John Lambert's here. John Ritt just jumped in. It's happening right now on Facebook. On YouTube, we're doing all right. So, the eye's doing good.
Eye's doing real good. As you can see, no more dark blood spot where it
awesome.
busted that vessel. So yeah, it's dissipating and still using the eye drops and stuff. So
yeah, at least you didn't
yeah.
take out your good eye.
That was the good eye.
I know, but
That
you didn't take it out.
At least I didn't take it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What he's talking about, Alan, is Monday a week ago, I was working on a fire system and I had some vice grip clamps that I had to clamp it off. Well, the set that I had for this particular system, had to open up that set screw all the way to where it barely got on there. Well, as I was working on it and I looked up, and my son just had handed me like a set pin to put in there. Just as I put the set pin in, I bumped those vice grips and that screw popped out, fell about 2 feet down and popped me in the eye.
Oh no.
My good eye. And busted a vessel in it. I mean, it was dark blood red, but didn't do any damage, just busted.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Since the last time, I don't know whether you noticed, but got my crooked eye fixed.
I see that.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That's awesome.
Yeah. Had that done in August 27th, had that surgery done. And that was some extreme shit.
I'm sure.
Yeah, they actually detached all the muscles from the eyeball, set it straight, shortened the muscles, and sewed all the muscles back together.
Nope, I'm good. I done had the cataract thing done. That was close enough. I'm good.
Yeah.
So
yeah, close to it.
So Alan, I probably dropped this down to 70 proof, or not 70, 80 proof, which is normally what Scotch is, right? Scotch Irish whiskey, 80 proof. And I'm telling you, you need to do that. You need to just add water down. Have you done it? Because now
I played around with proof all over the place.
But I mean, at 80 proof, you're talking. It tastes like American single malt. The sweetness is now the apple's gone. The sweetness is the peat sweetness, and it tastes like an it tastes like an American, like a single malt. It's not. We all know it's not Scotch or Irish whiskey because it was made here, but it definitely takes it into that flavor that you will get with a Scotch or a peated Scotch. It's there. It's amazing how the water dilutes the sugar and the apple flavor, but leaves the peat alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Well, that's why I kept it at high proof, because again, I want people to be able to find what they like. So what was really interesting to me was, so I played with the proof several times, and there are places where I particularly like it at. But I poured it for people who don't normally drink spirits at proof, and repeatedly got And people that I trust, people I know would tell me I was full of shit otherwise. But I repeatedly got surprise of them liking it at 139.2 and not believing it was at that proof. So I was like, you know what? No, let's let them decide where they want to go with it, you know? And especially because diluting it, like I said, if you put it in what they call smoky cokey, which is just Coca-Cola and that, it's nice to have a little bit higher octane to go along with that Coca-Cola, right? You get a little bit more bang for your buck out of that drink. So,
Well, I mean, one of the cool things, one of the things I like to mix is Red Bull. I got to try a Red Bull one.
yeah, I don't know how Red Bull might be interesting with that. There's some interesting characteristics of Red Bull. Red Bull would probably work really well with that 9 herb charm, believe it or not.
Really? Well, let's do a
Yeah.
taste test. I think I got one right here. I got some Red Bull.
So Tiny, how's the finish on that at proof? Was it was it very long, lingering?
Yeah, you pick up the apple cinnamon thing stays with you with a little bit of peat. It goes forever. I mean, it's funny when you get a spirit with this much flavor. I mean, if I was gonna give it a barrel bottle breakdown, the body on it is unlike anything else. I mean, at that, I'm gonna end up drinking too much of this. Let me see.
Yeah, and you remember way back in the beginning, Alan. He said, yeah, "This is not a bottle you want to sit around and drink the whole bottle of."
Right.
Well, no,
Now he's going to sit there and just go at it.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you, dropping it in back after it having it low. Now I'm picking up. So the second time, like you said, I'm revisiting it. Right. There's a ton of the apple and the peat are coming out with licorice, very similar to. It's got an absinthe aspect of it off that part of that taste. So have you picked that up, that licoricey aspect at all? No,
I haven't, but I could maybe see that with the phenolic character of that peat, that maybe, especially lowering the proof and bringing it back up. So what I suspect you have going on your palate is that when you lowered the proof, you dropped a lot of the oils out of suspension. So a lot of those oils are sort of hanging out on your palate, and then you're going back to it, and then you're getting that high proof, washing those oils off. And so you're kind of doubling up on the phenolic character of that smoke, more or less. So I could see that from that perspective. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I should put. Wait a second. I'm going to do half and half. You said you should do Red Bull. Now this Red Bull is flat because it's been in the.
Listen, I didn't say. You said I'm going to do it with Red Bull.
No,
you should do Red Bull. With
no, you suggested once I said I was going to do Red Bull to do it with the other one.
He did suggest. He just said that there might be some unusual flavors come out in it.
Well, here we go.
Red Bull and 9 herb might work. They might work together.
Yeah, we're going to try that. There we go. Hey, Alan. Seth is my son. He comes on the podcast as Knobs because he loves Knob Creek. But he also really has an affliction for the barrel picks from French Lick because he gets a supply from me that keeps coming. And he basically flipped from a gin drinker to a bourbon drinker because of probably the supply of French Lick I was able to supply him with.
Yes, well, we'll see if we can't kick it. We'll see if we can't kick him back over to gin and absinthe. Now that we just released a gin and an absinthe today, so.
Well, hopefully, I don't know if he's ever done two. He's not a black licorice guy, are you?
No, but my wife is a gin and black licorice person.
Oh, I would like to see Ellie. Yeah, I'll bring some up. I've still got some left over that Alan, still some black absinthe I've got over there.
Wow.
And I'm probably 7/8 of the way finished with the painting, and I've been debating whether I'd let AI finish it for me. just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You trying to make me go into a rant? Because I can go into a rant.
Of course, I know. I am not going to let AI finish it. But what did you?
Jolie needs that painting for the tasting room.
Oh, it's happening. That just motivated me faster.
And at the bottom of it, you should write National Treasure, because that's what Eric Owens from ADI called me the other day, right in front of Jolie, and I was like, "Oh, I'm never letting her live that down."
I'm gonna tell you. Oh, so what this tastes like with holy shit. So the actual Wycliffe Bell tastes like bubblegum it's like bazooka bubblegum with Red Bull. So that's a very interesting flavor. I actually could, well, this turns this into a different bottle, that's for sure. This would be, you should offer that at the taste. We're talking bazooka bubblegum, man. How do you get that flavor? Anyways, all right, so the other one. Juicy fruit. It turns into a fruity
bubblegum on one and juicy fruit on the other.
It does. You know how some of the juicy fruit, sometimes you get like, you could get the different flavors like lime and lemon, and then you could get the one that's all the fruits. Yeah, that is. I mean, I
Which
think,
one do you like better?
I mean,
Bazooka?
it's not like he makes enough of either one that he'd ever do this in the tasting room, because he sells out the bottles as is. But I'm telling you, both of them produce an unbelievable result.
Well, see, that's experiential too. I'm pretty agnostic when it comes to the way that people consume the spirits, as long as they consume them. So,
Yeah, that's crazy. All right. Well, this one, I wouldn't suggest doing it. It was just for fun. And that could lead to, at 139.9 proof, that could lead to some, well, I suppose it would keep you up through it all. It takes, because Red Bull has wings, right? All right. So
you reckon if we gave it to Pam Bondi, she'd post all the Epstein files unredacted?
no.
Wishful thinking.
No.
That'd be wishful thinking.
It's just like, it's,
right.
Yeah. Although I wouldn't mind sharing a drink with Pam Bondi, because then she, maybe she'd tell us because whatever she's posting or we're releasing, it's not
I'd like to share that bottle with her.
Of that.
Barrel strength and see what happens.
I mean, we could go into
shake that tree and see what falls out.
Yeah.
Firehorse energy. Yeah. So the Wycliffe is that's an introduction to some of the things that will be coming over the next year. So there are a number of unique barrel rested, sunshine inspired things that we did. So there is a full on barrel rested actual sunshine spirit that we did. There are multiple barrels of Newton Stewart, which is the corn based sunshine that we did, and they are all in very different barrels. So there's Cabernet barrels, there are Foursquare rum barrels, there are New Oak barrels. Some of those will be blended back and forth different ways. Several of those will be out this year. And then the one that I'm also really excited about, just like with the Wycliffe Bell, is a product called Rise and Shine, which is we took malted rye and sugar, and I believe there's some apples in there. Raisins, of course, we use raisins in all those spirits. And then we took that and ran that through Artemisia, which is the pot double thumper system. And we did 3 variations, and they're all going to come out in 375s, and you'll be able to buy them as a 3-pack as well. So one variation is a citrus variation with a bunch of citrus in the thumpers. One variation is a jasmine and chamomile variation. And the third one, which I think is the coolest one, the one I'm most excited about, is we took some hickory syrup I made at home and then some toasted hickory bark and actually put it into the thumpers.
So
Which might be the most fucking Hoosier thing that anyone's ever done.
So I think you've just finished off for me. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. So a doubler and a thumper are very close, but a thumper is where you add to the distilled spirit, that as the distilled spirit goes in there, you've got other stuff in there that you put that will mix with the distilled spirit, and then it goes through the still again, right?
So you're sort of on the right track. So a doubler and a thumper are ostensibly the same thing. They're a mechanism for raising proof and purity is what they're for. Okay. A thumper on a pot still you can use to, well, you can do it on a column too. We did it out at Stolen Wolf. But a thumper, you can add various other things too, if you would like to, in the same way you would a gin basket. But the mixing is different because you have vapor hitting liquid, and that liquid is containing the other things that you want to flavor with. So you're raising proof and purity, which drops flavor, but you're adding flavor at the same time, if that makes sense.
So that's why you would call it a thumper. But a doubler, you don't actually, you're just basically raising proof and purity without adding anything else. That's why you call one and the other the other.
You could add flavor in a doubler. So a thumper and a doubler work a little bit differently. So
okay,
they do the same thing but a different way, essentially. So a thumper basically is you're injecting live steam into liquid, whereas with a doubler you're essentially condensing steam into a liquid and dropping it into a small pot to flash distill very quickly. That's ostensibly what the difference between the two of them are. So, and we're not going back into the still. What's happening with our system is we have the still and then two thumpers. So what happens is thumper number one works off of the parasitic heat from the still and redistills. It's almost like running back through a still a second time.
right?
And then the second thumper after that is doing the same thing. So you're not getting full distillations each time, but you're essentially running both those thumpers. You're getting the equivalent of a double pot still distillation in one run, as opposed to having to do multiple runs.
Quick question about all the spirits that you just talked about that will be coming out. All those are going to be available in the gift shop only, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Most of those things will pretty much always be gift shop only, with rare exception. There may, somebody comes along and they want a single barrel of something weird like that, because they're not all, some of them may only be rested, 14, 15 months, whatever. Some of them might sit in there for a number of years. It just depends. Some of them might, like the Newton Stewart stuff, that may or may not, depending on what my mood is and where I see it going, that might turn into like a Solera project in time, right? To where they can build some maturity. I don't mind that necessarily. But yeah, for the most part, they're going to be tasting room only, experiential, come to Alcohol Acres, have a good time, spirits. So and they're going to be, pretty much guarantee you, those are all going to be barrel or bottled at proof. Because again, I like that idea of you pick what you want where you want it at, right? That lets you be involved in the alchemy a little bit and get your hands dirty. So,
all right, Alan, we're gonna end. So give a little. We're going to end this, give a little promotion for Old Homestead, give a little promotion for what you're doing still, all of your podcasts. I mean, it's just like you got a new podcast. You've got, if you have Ghosts, you have everything. You've got One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute. Just throw out everything. And then we've got a ton of people wanting to come on. So just we'll end this. I'll send the link out to everybody. And we'll bring some people on. And they got questions. Because you're amazing.
absolutely.
All right. Hey,
So you can find me at oldhomesteaddc.com. The website right now is undergoing renovation. I've been working on that for a couple weeks. We're getting there. It takes a little time. Again, figuring out the character of the distillery and all that sort of stuff. So Old Homestead, the way that you can think of us is having multiple pillars. We got something for everybody. So there's sunshine spirits made from malted roasted sunflowers and cane sugar for the most part with various other ingredients. There's Black Forest spirits, which essentially represent the history of the Black Forest of Southern Indiana, or they are historically inspired spirits from around the world. There are the various whiskeys and or brandies that we are making, which are high-end, variable in terms of yeast, distillation, fermentation method, maturation, etc. We make uncommon whiskey for the common man. We make special spirits that are not common whiskeys. You can come hang out with us, come stay at the distillery, check out the distillery, the hotel, the tasting room, the winery, the brewery, the marina, the gas station, floating cabins, land cabins, the whole deal, alcohol acres, AA2 as it were. So it's a good time for everybody. But now let me say this too, because I want people to know this. It ain't just alcohol, right? So most people nowadays, they're not just after alcohol, they're after something they can do with their whole family. And the cool thing is when you get out to Patoka Lake, there's all kinds of great stuff to do with the family. There's places around there you can do ATV rides, you can rent boats, they got party boats, they got all the stuff that you want to do. They got a beach down there, all that stuff. So you can do the family thing and also have alcohol if you'd like it. Something for everybody, like I said. As far as me, you can find me at If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything podcast, which is kind of my main podcast gig at this point. The One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute on YouTube and the One Piece at a Time Sacred and Profane podcast with my co-host Tyler Richardson. At some point, Distillers Talk will be back, and you can go to thealchemistcabinet.com and pick up your copy of the 2026 Practical Distillers and Alchemist Almanac, which is really, of all the private things that I do, that is the thing that I'm the most passionate about, because it's the thing that I don't know, it's where the esoteric sort of meets the more literal world of distillation. And it's also the thing that funds all the other things that I do for free throughout the year, like podcasts and One Piece at a Time, etc. So, alchemistcabinet.com, all that stuff.
That's everybody after that, how amazing Alan is as getting his message out, because 100%. Every single thing that he mentioned, what he is doing, even his podcasts, the production value of those podcasts are amazing, and he does it right, and right from where I'm pretty sure you record right from where you are right now, as far as. But I will suggest, if you have Ghosts, You Have Everything. That podcast is the coolest podcast out there. There are so many people that have been on there. And as I say, you take the distilling, you take the spirits industry, and you combine it with the spirits world. And it's just a great, great podcast. I love your podcast, Alan. I love what you're doing. And thank you so much for coming on. Afterwards, if you're on Facebook, I'm going to be sending that link, and everybody can join us tonight. And I really much appreciate that you do this for us every once in a while. Usually, you have to take a bathroom break, and we keep you on longer than most people come on. But we usually I guess tonight you definitely knew what you were getting into, right?
Oh, yeah. 3 glasses of absinthe and a cup of coffee. Anybody's got to have a pee break after that.
Yeah, I got to figure out now.
Good.
Now, is your absinthe available in the distillery now? Have we gotten to that point?
Term Effect, which is the amethyst absinthe, absolutely is now available as of tomorrow in the distillery, in celebration of Neptune and Saturn both stationing at 0 degrees Aries, and the end of the year of the snake and beginning of the year of the fire horse. So is an Americanized absinthe, which basically means that I took all the traditional stuff that you would get from absinthe and used those methods, but I used some unique botanicals in it, and botanicals grown here at my farm. and colored it with maize morado or kasuli corn, which is a bright purple anthocyanin-rich corn. Yeah, it's a New World absinthe. Never existed before until now, and there it is, right there in the distillery for you guys to enjoy.
Well,
At 140 proof on my day.
we need to do an absinthe, the first ever Scotchy Bourbon Boys absinthe podcast coming up. I know the one time when you and Ben were on, it's just like that was a wild podcast, no doubt. One of my favorite. I just was sad that I wasn't there drinking 27 different sampling 27 different absinthes with you. You visit,
that was a marathon, is what that was. That was a marathon.
Yeah, you visited the Green Fairy that night. I just remember seeing Ben's face, and I hadn't met Ben personally, but his face behind, he kept just looking behind over your shoulder. It was fantastic. All right, we're gonna finish this up. All right, everybody, just on Facebook, hold on. YouTube, we'll keep it going until everything goes, but www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all things Scotchy Bourbon Boys. We got the Glens, we got the t-shirts. Super Nash is wearing a t-shirt. And then we also have bourbon balls, so check that out. And then remember, we're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, and now TikTok, along with Patreon. And then just remember, Apple, iHeart, Spotify. You can find us pretty much, if you're listening to a podcast, we're there. So remember, whether you listen or you watch us, remember to become, do the things to support us. Memberships. If you're listening on Apple, make sure that you leave a 5-star rating and give us a really good review. Helps us out. And as we keep growing, we appreciate everybody out there. And remember, good bourbon equals good times, good friends. Make sure you take it, Super Nash.
Drink and drive, drink responsibly, and live your life uncut and unfiltered.
And here we go with our theme song taking us out.
Boots on the floor, working hard all day till you can't no more. Life rolls on, but the choice is yours. How you play it out when you walk through that door. One bottle, one drink, one pour. That's what the Scotchy Bourbon Boys got in store. Tuesdays, Thursdays, come pull up a seat. We'll taste through the whiskey on the rocks and eat. Bourbon Scotch or a good old rye. Japanese, Irish, yeah, we'll tell you why. So wherever you're sipping, near or far, tune in with us from your home or your car. One bottle, one drink, one pour. That's the podcast you've been looking for.
All right, I gotta stop it. Oh, yeah, there we go. All right, I sent the link to everybody on Facebook. Hey Walker, I think Greg is gonna try and get on, but so if Greg, if it doesn't work, the link, Walker can help you how to do it because he comes on all the time. All right, let's see. So Alan,
Yep.
This is where everybody comes on and they ask you questions.
Okay.
So Macaulay was on he was on tonight, and he was like giving you a shout out for sure. I don't know if he's going to come
Awesome.
on. He likes to see. He's been like hanging out on the podcast lately. I was going to do last Thursday a President's Day podcast. I had the America's 47 from Log Still. I had the 45 47, and I wanted to see what those bourbons were tasting like, right? And also Cinder and Smoke from the Bard Distillery, which is like a little bit north of I think of Bardstown. And it was really unique because as I was doing it, Macaulay's like, send me the link to come on tonight. And he was staying at his aunt's house in the mountains because he was talking to his shaman. And he came on and did the whole podcast. So the whole thing was destroyed. So that it's my actual podcast was like for that particular particular thing. I did the AI. And my question now that we're off the official podcast, what did you think of the AI as far as the visuals? Was that pretty cool?
All your AI visuals are good.
The AI visual worked very, very well. So I just recently did a rant against AI. So anybody that knows me is gonna fucking know exactly my thoughts. But yeah.
So from
Hey, Alan, how are you?
Good. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, thank you. Heading home. McCall visit with me on his way home, which was really cool.
Nice.
That is.
Nice.
And he dropped me off a little bottle, which I loved. I did not know, and I don't know if he wants to. I'll wait till we're off the air and share what he told me or what he showed me.
So
I was pleasantly surprised about something.
So there's aspects I agree with Alan what you're saying as far as AI. But the one thing I will have to say about AI is that if you can't write and you absolutely suck at writing,
If you have no talent,
yes, no talent.
If you're unable to do anything by yourself,
hey, Alan,
if you're too incompetent to pay someone to do it, then I guess it's for you.
All right.
The
Seth,
problem
there's
is-
no more Christmas gifts for Seth next year.
and there you
That's
go,
the end.
Alan. You think exactly like my son.
Motherfucker.
Because it's the same
Well,
thing.
Seth, I want to share something with you. I am teaching now, and I have found a program where AI will make my PowerPoints. I just have to edit them and make sure they're good. But they save me literally
Oh yeah, and then the kids
hours.
and the kids have an AI program that watches it and gives them a synopsis of it. You know,
Yep,
so at the end of the
absolutely.
day, it's like we're going back to teaching with just extra steps.
Bro. AI as a teacher is a nightmare, dude.
It is.
Oh yeah. So Alan, you didn't.
Well, for me, it works well because I go in and edit it, and I put stuff in that this AI can't duplicate, and then I test on that stuff.
Yeah, I'm saying, Randy, when the kids are playing with it and they're like, "Oh, look what I did," I go, "No, you didn't do that." The robot
Yeah,
did,
you didn't
bro.
do that. I did that.
It's
Yes,
rough, man. It's
exactly.
tough to navigate,
That
my man.
works through.
Just think of the bullying. When I was a kid, like you
I
could just
do that
put my
too.
face on anyone and make them do anything. Like any kid out there, if I don't like you, it's like here's a video of you exploding, photorealistic. Like
Well, that's true.
That's going to get you a visit from the FBI, but I'm going to stop there. So
Okay, I'm just saying, like,
Well, I gotta so
I'm glad that I got out when I got out.
I'm
Yeah.
playing, bro. It's all good.
Kids
I know what
were
you mean.
mean.
So,
Oh yeah.
so Alan, you're there.
Yeah.
So I know
Yeah.
there's an aspect of it, definitely, that my son, he's sitting there laughing at me. So you could tell you're almost the same age as his older brother. So he gets it like you get it. And as far as a generational thing, I mean, how is there an aspect where it can help certain people, or is it just all bad?
I think there's fucking uses for it. So I'm of two minds about it. So there are uses for it, and I've used it for things too, like cover art and stuff. Before I finally started drawing because I got so tired of fucking AI shit
Oh yeah.
that I started teaching myself how to draw. I've never drawn before in my life until now. But one thing I absolutely hate, and I see it in the moonshining community everywhere, is all these people starting fucking classes. And I can see your AI article from 15 miles away because they all have the same stupid little emojis next to instead of bullet points, they have stupid little emojis, and they all do like the double entendre thing. And it drives me crazy. And it's all every subject that I'm interested in that I've looked up anything on AI. It's all, no matter what depth you want to go to. And I'm sure that it's not the case for every subject, but the subjects like I'm interested in, whether it's distilling or it's the occult, esoteric, whatever, it's all like lowest common denominator bullshit. And there's no character to it. You can see that there's not a spirit behind it or a love behind it or anything. But overall, I think, yes, there's things that can be positive about it. I think that part of what bothers me probably a little bit is knowing that there's maybe I'm just getting old, but there's a split happening between those people who want that world and those people like me who are the antithesis to everything that could possibly happen in that world in many ways.
Yeah.
And it all plays into a lot of that transhumanist stuff. Listen, I don't even know that. You ever met you ever met more than one 83-year-old person that was happy in their life? Truly, right? Not me, buddy. I'm done. I get there, I'm done. Checking out. I'm out. I don't want to be part of this transhumanist fucking thing. I don't want my consciousness to live on through a computer program or any of that shit.
So when you get to be 61, there's a bunch of shit that surprised me. For one, let's just take, I've loved football my whole life. But after 40, like, let's just take where I was 10 years old. So that's 51 freaking football seasons. I didn't ever expect that it's another year, another thing, and it would start to become tiring. Like, I've done this 51
Right?
frickin' times, and it's like it doesn't happen how you want it to happen. And especially the people where, like, you talk about Cleveland or Chicago, where it never happens. And it's just like there's certain things that come in, or like, but then you have to like reinvent yourself in what you like. For instance, when I first went to my first Kentucky Bourbon Festival, and what as you keep going, all these festivals, and you do it year after year. Now that I've done it 6-7 times, it just doesn't have the same, you know what I mean? It doesn't have the same thing as it did when it was. So you start to look for new things, right? What I mean, that's all I can say as I get to be an old man, a really freaking old man. There's certain things. So I'm always looking for the new thing. That's why I love you, Alan. I mean, I look at you, I respect you and everything you do. I feel that you're a really fantastic, you're like family to me, good, and just a great friend, and everything that you do. And when the first time you ever said, "I love you, brother," that meant so much to me. You know what I mean? Look at that. You got your passion projects showing up on the podcast there. But at the same time, it's
high
because
regards, Alan. He doesn't even say that stuff to me.
because no, seriously, this is so different. You're doing different shit. It's like I get to drink something different. I love this type of stuff, and I want you to keep doing it. And you told me that it's going to be limited, and that part is where you understand the whole aspect of bourbon on how cool it is that when you limit it, people go crazy for it. And if you ever going to make a little bit more or whatever, you know what I mean, going forward, Greg tried to jump on. He wanted to ask you some questions, but he could get his microphone working, but he didn't get his whatever. I think Randy might be trying to help him.
Yeah, working.
But at the same time, Alan, that's what it is to me. And everybody goes through that journey. And you went through the journey. When you first started making bourbon, you started making it different, and it was a challenge, and you did about everything you can do. But everybody gets to the point where they, how many, you search for these bottles, and then you get them, and then you get it again, and you get it again. And then it's like, do I need another one? I didn't drink the first three, you know what I mean, kind of thing. They're there in your collection. But when you get something that, I was like shocked that you add Red Bull to this, and it tastes like Bazooka Joe bubblegum. That's the kind of stuff that you want the surprises for. Not that I would do it and completely do it, keep doing it, but it's just kind of a cool thing.
Absolutely. So I still hate AI after all that, but I love you, Jeff. But fuck AI.
But
AI is stupid.
But it wasn't. I really
To
thought.
an extent, yes, I agree, Alan.
But I will say it's like anything else. If you were like I was in computer graphics, and to produce a graphic image like what I can produce with AI, I know what to tell it because I've done it a million times myself. I tell it what to do, and I think I thought what I produced from that one picture of us at what's the Daisy Springs Mill? Did I say it right?
Daisy Spring Mill Distillery. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
we took that.
Or that was Beck's Mill. Where that was.
Beck's Mill. You're right. But we took that picture. They took that picture of us, and we're standing far apart, and it's like. It took me a while to get it, but putting us back to back with the folded arms or just dropping down, you know what I mean? It was kind of a cool thing that I would never have been able to come up. And if you know what cool is, you can force it to do it for you. Tilt the hat,
right?
You know what I mean?
We got Amanda Bryant watching, and and she said, "Heck yeah, Alan, he's with his own palate, no pun intended."
He doesn't. I don't draw the best in the world, but I do a thing. I do things.
Yeah.
It's
What's
funny
up, Greg?
because
How are you?
What?
Let's see if he can hear us. Greg tried to come in. I think
Greg's
he's
trying to
still
get in here. What's up, Greg?
Hey, Greg.
Can you hear me?
We can hear
Now
you.
we can hear Greg.
Here he is. Just don't have video, bro.
Well, let me see what the hell I can do about that. I don't know what's going on.
Hey,
Throw it against the wall, brother.
And
Damn ass
Alan
technology.
Alan tells you, don't ask AI; it will tell you the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alan, just to let you know, I hate AI too. I have yet to ever use it, not once whatsoever.
I get on them and I fuck with them sometimes for shits and giggles. So, anybody who follows me knows that I'm kind of into the esoteric and spirituality and the occult and stuff. So every once in a while, just for shits and giggles, I'll go to a different one and I'll ask it a question about like the greater or lesser keys of Solomon or various different, ritual things and things like that. Just because I keep waiting for like the first time that it fucks up and it actually tells you how to do something. Because as of right now, it's like it'll give you the philosophical, psychological mumbo jumbo part of it. It'll be like, I can't advise you on how to do this thing. And I'm like, eventually you're gonna fuck up and you're gonna tell somebody how to do this thing.
Well, you clearly haven't. You clearly have never used Grok. Grok.
Yeah, I have a
tells
crystal
you.
crop.
It's
just
just like,
tells you.
how do you make a bomb? And it's just like, oh, here you go. Here's the ingredients. It's like, oh, I feel like this should be not what you do, but okay.
I'll tell you what I'm hoping for in this next wave of art. This is the thing. This is why I hate AI and why I'm happy to talk about it. Because I think it's going to happen. What you're going to see is you're going to see a bunch of people, maybe not my generation, but hopefully maybe your generation will react to AI in the same way that I'm reacting to it. But what they'll do is they'll push back in the opposite direction where they'll be like, fuck that. Let's go back to, you know what? Let's go back to mailing out fucking zines the way that we used to in the 80s and the 90s and doing cool handmade stuff and, alternative art and really putting heart and soul into something. I hope that there's an equal and opposite to that AI transhumanist fucking thing.
If it makes
I'm
you
with
feel
you,
better,
Alan, 100%.
yeah.
Bro.
If it makes you feel better, Alan, I don't know someone who's like 100% in my age group, 100% on board with current AI. I have a couple of friends who are like, well, if you get really specific with it, it's great. Or I think all the search engines are ruined by their own AI. So I'm just gonna, if I have a Google question, I'm just gonna ask the AI because the Google one sucks and just lies to you. And like, I'm not gonna ever use Bing. Sorry, Bing. I'm not gonna do it. So
Just
like,
a Bing cherry.
well, I the perfect example is I Googled what time is the summer solstice, and Google gave me 9 ads and then 3 different results. I asked the AI and it gave me whattimeisit.com, the source, and it just said the exact thing. And it's like, why can't Google just do what it did 5 years ago?
Hey, Seth, you got an iPhone or a Samsung?
I have an iPhone.
Yeah, just ask Siri. She'll tell you, and it's fucking case closed, bro.
She's off.
Whatever.
I
Change
don't
the
let
voice
them-
in a T, and it's good. They'll tell you it's March 20th.
I keep telling my wife to go
Wait
get her,
a second.
get her
You
car.
just referred to Siri as a she, where my wife would refer to it as a he, but you should have all referred to it as an it.
It. Yep.
It's a robotic.
Hey,
motherfucker,
Greg,
man.
are you still there right now?
A clanker.
Can you hear us, Greg?
Clankers.
I'm on. I just I can't figure out how to do the video. So
That's all
Hey,
right.
no
But
problem.
if you have a question,
Hey,
if
as
you have
long
a
as we're here,
question,
brother.
if you have a question for Alan, ask it, and we can hear you.
No, I got no questions for Alan. I appreciate his knowledge and his experience, and appreciate what he does. That's cool.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that greatly. Yeah.
Hey, Greg.
Hey guys, how you doing, Martin?
Hey, doing good, brother.
All right, man. We'll keep that heart pumping, brother.
Absolutely. As you can see, I'm actually not having a pour tonight, and all. So, having to cut way back and all that.
Well, you're a better man than I am.
Doctor's orders. Although I did have a little bit earlier and all, but that was my limit for today.
That's
All right.
okay, buddy.
Yeah, I got a good wife behind me that's keeping me.
That's important, buddy. Yeah, that's a good deal.
Yeah,
Good deal.
you got all
hang in
of
there,
us
man. We
supporting
got a
you,
lot
man.
more stories to tell and a lot of experience to live. So hang in there.
Absolutely, Nash. You got to get your ass up to Chicago, whether you drink or not. I don't give a shit. Just get your butt up here, brother.
Hey, no,
Hey,
it's just
Greg
like
and
I told the
Alan.
docs, I'm not cutting it out. I'm just having to cut down.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
okay. That's
Yeah.
okay.
It's all good.
I mean,
That's
for
good.
God's sake.
Greg and Alan.
Okay.
Yo,
Greg and Alan. I
Yeah.
want to share something real quick. 2 of my very favorite whiskeys each of you made.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you.
And
Thank you.
and I mean I've got 1,500 bottles, but
Wow.
That's
the
it.
Dalton and Greg, one of the chicken cocks you made are absolutely, and Walker knows which one I'm talking about. 2 of my
I do.
very favorite whiskeys.
Thank you.
That's cool,
Absolutely. And
Randy.
I just appreciate y'all doing that.
I appreciate you letting us know.
I've been
That's always a
associated
big
with a
deal.
bunch over 48 years, brother. But yeah, that's cool. Thank you.
It's the Greg, the batch 1 that we got at the gift shop that was a gift shop only beat like 5 things on the bar at the gift shop. The thing that you made beat actually beat all of it. Randy, am I wrong?
I mean, $84, and it was better than the $300 stuff.
Yeah,
Crazy.
$500 stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
No, good. I don't know which one that was. Was it one of the specialty stuff, the single barrel stuff, or barrel picks?
it was a single barrel pick for the gift shop. Greg, let me pull the bottle that I have, thanks to Randy, that we tasted together, and I gifted to our friend Al. Private Cask Batch 1 with your signature at the bottom, which is one of the other reasons I'm proud to have it.
So, Alan,
I ended up getting 4 bottles of that somehow. I don't know how I managed it, but I got 4 bottles of it. Gave one to Walker, at least one to Walker, maybe 2. I don't remember.
I think
cool.
Alan, I think Randy's bought that last Dalton. So I did a tasting up in Cleveland, and so I've got nothing. I've got 3 bottles of the first barrel pick that we did at French Lake, but I got a decent amount of the next of the Lillian and the Dalton. And so anytime you need any of the, if you ever want any of the Lillian, let me know, because I've got that, because I'm going to hold on to that, because I think that's some fantastic that project we did, and you drop in that stave in. But I will tell you, I was able to compare the Dalton 5.5 year to the 6.5 year Dalton, the year later that we picked. And early on, it wasn't, but now it's actually gotten the 6.5 year is, as it keeps going in the bottle, it rose and above the 5 year. So it's amazing how things evolve, right?
Absolutely. I want to share one more thing. I had something tonight that I had not typically thought was really good, super good, but tonight it was wonderful. And I put it right there with the Dalton and the one that Walker was describing. And that's a Russell's 15.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I put all 3 of those right there in the same
That's
category.
That's a high oak bourbon. Yeah, it's good.
So
Yeah, I'm not huge on high oak bourbons like that, but I tell you what, me and Dad got tore down on Russell 15 one time for Thanksgiving, and so it has a special place. I saw my dad. These fucking cats, man. I don't know if you guys have cats or not. But fucking
that's awesome.
Anyway,
They're
we got
awesome.
I told my dad butt scooch to get to his vehicle because he refused help. Literally on his ass trying to slide to the vehicle. I'm like, well, fuck you, go somewhere else. Yeah, I love high oak stuff. I mean, and I like earthy stuff. I love Garrison Brothers, 13th Colony, and Detling. Absolutely love that earthy. And the high oak is right in there with it. But y'all is right up there with it.
Randy,
absolutely.
I was heavily involved with Russell's right from the get-go. And I like their 13, but again, the 15 for my palate starts to take on too much oak. And, for some people that they like it. For me, that just a little bit was getting beyond the point. So I think the 13, when I do a side-by-side comparison with the 13 and 15 Russells, I got to go with 13 every time.
Yeah. Well, I'm the guy that likes it when it smells like and tastes like I'm in Lowe's lumberyard. I'm that guy.
So you're
I can
hold on, Randy. You're comparing
on.
Lowe's, Menards, and fucking Home Depot.
Home Depot. Yeah, that's what he loves. He loves those bourbons. Alan, so have you tried the Knob Creek 21? Did you get a shot at that?
I got a bottle of that tonight.
If I have, I don't recall.
Okay.
It's possible.
21?
There is a 21.
21, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
but you're on the
I got
way.
a bottle of Knob Creek 21 tonight.
I'm on 12. I got 12.
Yeah,
No. You need to catch You're
I'm a li- I'm a
dyslexic,
little- I'm
brother. You're
dyslexic,
dyslexic.
yeah.
You're
Yeah.
dyslexic.
Well, no, this
Yeah.
right there is actually the knob 12.
I don't know, Greg. I'm partial to this. This stuff's pretty good, brother.
Yeah.
What are you showing? I don't
But
see
it's
it.
good, man.
Nope.
It's good,
The
Jim.
single
Oh,
rig
yeah.
is fucking
Enjoy.
it's
Yeah.
just great.
So, Alan,
I traded a guy tonight, a friend of mine. I gave him a Russell's 15. I got a Knob 21. I got a 20 Stag 22B, an Elmer T. Lee, and an OCD 5 cigar batch.
Alan, anytime you need
And they're
to-
all very, very different, but they were really all. He was happy and I was happy. That's what makes it. That's a good deal. He's happy and I'm happy. That's a good looking cat.
does
Yeah.
any,
That cat's an asshole. I've moved that cat now 8 times. I love that cat, but that cat is an asshole.
but to-
There's a stink
Well-
bug in here, and it
Doesn't
won't.
mean he's not good looking though.
It's after this fucking stink bug, and now instead of going the direction it was going,
It's all
it's
good.
yes. Now it's going to go climb my fucking curtains and fuck my curtains up because that's what they do.
Yeah. Alan, I want to brag on you a little bit because Connie had mentioned earlier that sometimes in terms of getting to know you, there was a barrier
Oh,
to
my
entry
Lord.
to you. And
Right.
honestly, I think John probably saw when I was posting this. I had posted this right before he said that. And I said, Tiny, you're probably either reading my post or reading my mind. But
Yeah,
I
I
said,
saw
you know,
that.
honestly, all that I brought to the table was humility and being willing to listen. And you accepted me right away because I've been listening to you, I've been paying attention, and I think it's a character thing. It's not just like you're screening people for character. You're not trying to be an asshole. You're just screening them for character. Are you willing to be a friend? Are you willing to be somebody who's willing to listen? Or are you just trying to get yours and get gone? And I think that's
100.
and I think that's worthy of anybody. I think that speaks well of you.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And that is definitely 100% the case. Because I do sometimes I'll give you guys a little inside baseball. So sometimes people think that I'm more of an asshole than I am because I am like that. This fucking cat. I'm a fucking. It's gonna be floating this cat bigger than me.
That's a different one. That's a different one.
Yeah, we know.
So cat. But I don't.
One
I
of
don't
18
mean to
or
be
whatever
like-
you said. Oh my
I
God.
don't mean, I don't mean to be like standoffish to people and stuff. I spend a lot of time in my own head is a lot of it. I'm always thinking about something and I'm usually like on social media or podcast. There she is again, fucking asshole. Anyways, I don't intend to come off that way to people. I spend a lot of time in my own head, and contrary to popular belief, I'm actually fairly shy in person unless I'm the one talking. But I'll give you guys an example. So the other day, Thursday, I went to the World Whiskey Awards, and I don't normally like going to those things anyways. I went because Eric Owens from ADI asked me to go, and I knew that Jonathan Licorice from Iron Root was going to be there, and they deserve everything they've ever gotten. 291 was there, etc. But I do not belong in a place like that, and I'm very aware of it when I'm there. And it's not me trying to be standoffish in any way, shape, or form to anybody or anything like that. It's just like that experience was me sort of gauging, okay, what is the environment of this room? And it became very clear very quickly, like the environment of this room is these are the people that don't really have to worry about the bourbon slump, etc. They're where they're going to be at, right? And then the second part of it is, okay, how many people in this room are in this room because they love distilling versus how many people are in this room because they love being seen and distilling?
Right.
And when I get in a situation like that, then it becomes that seesaw sway of, okay, this is not what I got into this for, and it was great. I got to see people I hadn't seen for a long time or whatever. But it's also when you're quiet for a little while, and of course, I started shaving last year and I lost some weight and I was dressed up and I never dress up. So a lot of people didn't recognize who I was at first. You're just quiet. People will tell you exactly who they are. So like little things slip, and I won't say any names, but like that was an example of a particular influencer who I would have thought of as a friend at one point in time. When I said in the show tonight, oh, let me know when you have good whiskey so I can come visit you. No, fuck you. Now you're not getting the invite. It's not happening. Or another particular personality in the industry who really pissed me off said something along the lines of, oh, I didn't know you were going to be here. I didn't know you got invited. And then followed by, and this was a female, followed by, oh, I didn't recognize you without the beard. I don't know why you shaved. I don't think I like it that you shaved. And I wanted to be like, you know what? If I fucking walked by you, if I walked by you and I was like, you know what? I think your fucking hair looks stupid and you got fat. The next day, it'd have been all over Facebook. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
And so, I'm at the point in my life where I don't have time for that fake bourbon game.
You just should have asked her, did you shave your pussy? There's
you know,
some hair.
it's even more, Alan.
Oh.
It's even way more disrespectful that you're married to Kim. So the person who it matters to what you look like and where it all goes and who. Not that I'm not saying anything for Kim or whatever, but how you interact with your wife. When it comes to what, there's no way that should have been said. That is an insult. No. Because you have someone at home that cares and loves for you, and if that's how, and she's cool with it, then it doesn't matter what anybody else is cool with.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I'm not a victim of any of that stuff, anything like that. I'm just. No. I'm explaining why I've made the decisions that I've made. That life's too short to spend it trying to be friends with people who are assholes. And also, I spent a lot of time at Spirits of French Lick, spinning my wheels over things that were out of my control and slights that I thought people had against me and things that they did that weren't right. And it's not worth the time or the effort. And so. Nope. Now, if people want to, if you just like my whiskey or my spirits, that's great. But if you want to be a friend, then let's do the friend thing. Let's do that. And so one of the things I'm doing at Old Homestead that I think is really cool because I don't see anybody else doing it. I got a couple of cork boards and I put them up on the wall. And so I've always taken like pictures when cool people come to the distillery, whether I know them or not. I'll get a picture with them. So now I'm gonna start printing those off and putting them on those cork boards. Just because I think it's right there in the production room in the distillery where everybody can see it. Just because I think it's fucking cool, and then maybe somebody comes through one week and they're like, oh, my buddy will be through here next week. Well, if you want to leave them a note that says "kiss my ass" or whatever, put it on the cork board and I'll pass it on to them. It's a fun little thing.
So you need to be like really chic and get a Polaroid camera and do those and then put up the Polaroids because now you're talking.
If you can find a Polaroid, I'll buy it for you.
What do you mean?
My daughter's got.
I don't see Polaroid cameras with film anymore.
No, that's because you don't have
my daughter's got one.
No, they made the new version of it, Randy, and it's everywhere. You just go on Amazon and it's there. My son.
Okay, well, see, I'm thinking the old version.
It's the old one, but it's the same technology, just souped up. Seth, right? You have one, right? Polaroid camera. I know you were looking elsewhere. There, look at that. He can pull his Polaroid camera.
That's pretty nice.
No,
I like
there.
that.
There it is, awesome. Instantly. And look at Alan's already got them. I mean, the new version is
So Alan has an Instastax camera.
Yeah.
The official Polaroid still comes out.
Alan, I got one comment for you.
Where?
Alan, I got one comment for you.
Yeah.
You see that?
The shocker, yeah.
The thumbs
there you
up.
go.
I like that.
But
that's an awesome picture.
Who's in the middle?
I think this summer I'm going to bring my wife up to meet you guys because I think she liked boating there on the lake.
Oh, please do, guys. When I say listen, obviously for me, there's a vested interest, but that place, there's so much fun stuff to do around there, and you're only 20 minutes from French Lick and West Baden too. So of course you got the casino and all that stuff down the road. But I'm Oh my God, this fucking cat is on my fucking gun rack. You fucking whore.
Get off the gun rack.
Yeah.
As long as
You
it's
leave the
just
gun
good thing-
rack
I'm
alone.
assuming that's raffles, Alan.
Yeah. Honestly, the other thing I wanted to get in was that I probably bought a case of other stuff that you had made, but Alan, this stuff that we chose with Tiny and with Group, I'll be drinking this stuff for the rest of my life. Tiny knows this because I bought quite a fair bit. And he asked me at one point whether I plan on selling the other stuff. And I said, no, I bought a lot of this stuff just for me so I can drink this the rest of my life.
And he's going to share it with me.
That's about true.
Don't worry, Randy. I have enough to drink the rest of my life, and I don't have to share. I can just you could buy enough to drink the rest of your life.
I did share
I just
You don't have to get
if I
into,
didn't share some with you,
both of them.
you don't have to get into my
And Tiny
stash.
knows this. Both the Lillian Bean and the Dalton. I just love them both. Lillian Sinclair, I'm sorry, and Dalton. I love them both.
Yeah.
Thank you.
they're good together too.
And I'm waiting for Greg's. Greg, I'm waiting for what you're coming out with where you're working now. I'm just excited about that.
No, Greg.
He's
I think he dropped
Yeah.
off a little bit. Yep.
He dropped
But-
off. Okay,
He
I
dropped
can't
off a little
tell.
bit, but yeah, I'm sure.
I'm still excited about it, even if he did drop off.
And,
He may
and
be listening. We don't know.
we don't know.
No.
But
We
we talked
Alan,
about that.
Tiny,
Yeah.
you're out.
John,
Super Nash.
Seth.
Super Nash. Take
Okay.
care.
You heading out, brother?
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. I gotta get up. I gotta go to Georgia tomorrow.
So program
Get
note.
some.
You might.
I'm probably going to Georgia Friday. Get some rest.
So look for
Yep.
a 10.
Guys, I'm gonna jump off. I gotta take care of this fucking cat.
Okay.
Thanks, Alan.
All right,
Love you,
thanks,
man.
Alan.
All right, Alan.
Alan, have a good night, brother.
Guys,
Thank you.
All right, you too, brother.
Thank
thanks
you
for
so
having me,
much.
guys. Love y'all.
Love you too, brother.
man.
Bye bye.
Later.
Bye, Alan. Bye, Super
Later.
Nash.
All right, good night, y'all.
Good night.
All right, Martin.
All right, he's off.
Okay, Martin,
Alan,
you out?
or
Hey,
Martin, take care.
What?
All right, brother.
Take care,
Good night,
Martin.
Martin. Love you,
All you
brother.
guys.
I hope this. I'm
Love you,
looking to
brother.
seeing you coming back from Ohio. Not Ohio, from Florida.
Are you going to Florida?
I'm going to Florida. I'm going to be driving through.
Oh yeah. He's going to Florida.
Yeah.
Oh no, I thought you said Super Nash was going.
No,
No,
I'm going. See my mom and
Tiny's
dad
going
again.
to Florida, and he'll be stopping by here on the way back, hopefully.
Yep. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to
hopefully
Florida
we're
this
planning,
weekend.
Yeah.
I went down Saturday and came back Sunday, but I had to because it was Valentine's Day. But we had a good time.
Good.
So, any questions, Seth?
my only thing is to check the chat. Check the chat of this current thing. Can you do you have a mouse near you?
Yeah, I'm looking at
Can
it.
you
What's
open
up?
the chat?
Amanda.
Who are those people?
Amanda?
Not Facebook chat, Zoom chat.
Who's on Zoom chat?
Which
I am.
Amanda?
I
Which
just-
Amanda's
wait,
on
okay, here we
Facebook
go.
chat?
I just want to know who these people are.
Which Amanda was on Facebook chat?
I just see you.
It's on the bottom.
It's loading.
Boomer.
Seth. The pictures aren't loading yet.
Oh, they're not loading?
Oh, your
taking
your
its sweet time.
pictures?
So if you go to the bottom and click on the button that says chat in the bottom screen,
Walking eating peanuts.
open the chat.
Yeah, I see Seth Mueller in a picture and Seth Mueller in a picture.
They're not loaded in?
No, not
No,
yet.
it just shows a star, like a
That's
flower.
Stupid.
Yeah. And I can switch
They're-
between them like it
Did
wants
you
to
quit
load it.
recording or do you need to keep recording?
They're
I don't need
they're weird stills from your AI videos that just don't look like you at all.
Of course. That's
It
what
looks
AI
like your brother who
I'm
who has-
well
who has-
aware of
who
what
has-
I'm well aware that
a birth defect brother, it looks like.
Wow.
You're
Looks like
such an ass.
it's just a bunch of these. What? I posted them when we were talking about it.
Yeah, I know.
To be fair,
And I explained it to your mother.
and then
They do it for a purpose of. They do it for the purpose of making sure that people know it's AI. They won't make it exactly
also,
like you.
Sorry for joining a little early. I thought at 10:37 or whatever, when I joined, I thought the podcast was over. I didn't check Facebook first.
Why didn't you just
So I
join?
came in
Why
right
didn't you join during? I asked you to.
I did. Technically, I did. Technically, I just got him when I was done doing my stuff.
All right.
So I don't have any space on my computer to download any of your videos to edit them. So I have to edit my own videos to get them to be able to download yours.
All right, man.
So did you guys all notice my new look?
Yeah.
Nope. John, have a good night.
Yeah, y'all too, man. Good to see you guys.
Take care, John.
All right. Good night.
Love you guys.
Love you
too.
too,
I
man.
see you with the plaid time.
Yeah, but I'm talking about look at the beard's not all wild now. So Seth,
Looks trimmed.
oh, it's
Yeah.
trimmed. You can see that it's tapered up. It's not popping out.
I can see the patch.
The fat.
See the patch right below your lip.
Yeah. Yeah. No. There's definitely
Shaved?
what?
You shaved?
I didn't shave. I went to a place that's called Cutting Up, and it's right on. You know where? Oh my God! Why am I not? So 62 and.
You don't have to just stop speaking. I don't give a shit where the location of where you got your beard cut is.
But it's called Cutting Up on.
You think I would join in the middle of the podcast if I didn't already? Wasn't like a few deep.
So, but I wanted to tell you, Seth, the
be
guy.
respectful.
It was.
Sorry, Randy.
He's don't Randy. I'm used to my son being
I
completely.
don't care if you used to it or not,
Him
it's
and
still
Alan.
disrespectful.
Alan's view of AI is in, and
He
Alan
is
is.
not old enough to talk to you like that. He's your son.
Randy, I will say it's hard sometimes because all my siblings are way worse to him than me. So when I do this, it seems
Part of his
respectful.
problem not busting their ass enough.
You should have hit us more, Dad.
Yeah, that's what I
That's
should have done.
exactly right. No, I can't say that. Cut the recording off. Then I can say what I think.
Stop recording.
No, I got to keep Randy under fucking control. Randy, you're almost in. You are no, not almost. Randy, you're in bed. It's like you're actually in bed. So I'm not shutting off the recording for you. You're gonna fall asleep, and we're gonna keep recording all night long.
I will be awake before you longer than you are. What are you drinking?
What do you exactly what this podcast was? It was called Black Forest Spirits. Wycliffe Bell.
Was it? I got it.
Was it like
Wycliffe.
Wick, like WICK, and then it's LIFFE. Wycliffe.
That's not one that was available when we were there then.
No, I got the one that was available, and I put that and made a juicy fruit into the with the Red Bull.
I've got that one.
But this one here is his new one, and it's 139.9 proof, and it's a flavor bomb, very unique. And then I
have that one. I need to get a cup.
And then
get one.
and then knowing Alan's going to be doing bourbon on a limited basis, it's just like when he referred to Bowie, I was like, that's awesome. He's going to do all that stuff, and then he'll do some bourbon, and then he'll do because bourbon is like the pop record. He tried to say that the pop record was the Sunshine, that he makes, but that's more like the pop. That's the pop singles. That's like Darius Rucker putting out Beers and Sunshine.
In the crowd that he's around at the lake, That's what he's talking about.
Well, I know he needs to put out stuff. It needs to make money, and they're going to make money off that stuff.
About the pop record,
I mean,
because people buy that in mass, and that's what he's talking about.
well, I said it was like pop singles, just putting out a single with the flip side. You know what I mean? The albums. I want a pop album, and that's the bourbon. Bourbon's a pop album.
So I would disagree with you on that. I would go the other way. And the reason I say that is because the Sugar Shiny can do continuously versus the bourbon is a single in that it takes time and it's a one-off. He's not, well, let me rephrase that. That's not accurate. The bourbon takes more time versus the I'll agree with you. Let me go back. I will agree with you on that because the single you can come out with many times.
Yep, that's the pop single, right? And but the album, you got to put something that has to have continuality, and it takes some effort. And bourbon takes some effort, and then all the other stuff are those albums that he puts out, like Bowie does, where he's not worried about trying to sell records. He's going to sell it, but he's not. But he's going to make something that's high quality that he wants to make.
But that cinnamon that you and I tried when we first went there before they were open, man, that cinnamon sugar shine was really tasty. I'm glad he brought it up because I'm sure it's selling really well. It was tasty.
Oh, it's good. What?
I have to go.
Why?
It's late.
Just wait. Yeah. Give me seven more minutes. 11:30. What you drink?
My legs are telling me that it's bedtime.
No, I need to know what you're drinking.
11:23 here. I'm gonna get up at 5 a.m. your time, so I'm gonna get off too.
I woke up this morning at 7 o'clock with my wife and son awake. And I had to endure until 8 without coffee, and then drink 2 cups.
So what's crazy is last night I was on.
I was at work,
and I did a President's Day podcast and went to bed at 12:30 and woke up this morning at 5:30, and then Mom was up at 6, 7, and here we are again at 11.
Bourbon and talking to cool people sucks. I get to talk to all my friends and drink bourbon. I'm so sad about that.
Steph, he did not get to do that yesterday. I wasn't on.
Go to the recycling plant.
I did. Walker was on yesterday, and he came on afterwards. But the thing is with Walker is Walker's always going to be here because it's 3 hours earlier in fucking Arizona.
2 hours. 2 hours.
2 for now.
For now, 3 in the fall.
Yes. I love to have a bourbon podcast where I drink and then go to work. But sadly, I just drink by myself and then go to work the next day.
Me too.
I'll stay on with you for 7 minutes if they gotta go.
Anyway,
come on.
Steph, come down and visit me, and we'll go to the Smoky Mountains sometime.
Where are you, Randy?
Knoxville. 45 minutes out of Gatlinburg, Knoxville,
Tennessee.
Okay. Yes, Tennessee.
It's really beautiful.
It's the state that I view after Chicago.
I'm in that part of your life where you have several kids and don't do anything.
Wait,
I
wait,
remember that.
what did you tell me something I don't know about? What the fuck?
You know we want more than one.
Yeah, but you don't have several kids. You said you had several kids.
This is why I said I'm in the time of life where you have several kids.
Not you have several kids. You just have one.
Yeah, but
He's hoping that if he'll shut up and let him get off the podcast, he'll go have another.
Oh, I'm going to put my glasses back on.
Yeah, how was that for an answer?
That's a great answer.
So anyways, let's get back. What are you drinking? What have you been drinking? Knob?
Tonight, I have been drinking Knob 9.
Yep, courtesy of me.
Standard bottle. No.
You had to get another one. You actually had to buy a bottle for yourself.
You didn't buy me a Knob 9, you asshole.
Oh, just
Whoa now.
it's
Sorry,
okay.
Sorry.
Easy now. You
I'm
got
sorry,
it.
Randy. I have to respect my elders when Randy's in the call. So enjoy this time while it lasts, Dad.
Okay.
And then I had a little bit of the just in the spirit of this episode. I had the William Sinclair or the Lillian Sinclair.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Very. You know what? It's like if someone made. Hold on. It's almost as if someone made this taste good.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is? I can't quite see that. What is?
Cuddy Sark.
And the Cuddy Sark, and it's
Cuddy Sark, okay.
It's so smoky. Where I honestly don't think I drink it often, not as much as the William Dalton series, but it wasn't bad. It was good, but it needed a cigar, and I don't have a cigar.
How many?
I've got a bunch I got for your dad and for Walker, but I haven't gotten them to him yet. They're in a bag.
Walker is currently showing us what?
Knob
1,000
Creek.
Knob bottles?
Yep.
Yeah.
So 7 open and 5 unopened. So do not despair about your Knob Creek. I will work on getting you some more samples of some things that I have open.
Well, I have a Knob 12
Yeah.
that's open, but
I want a knob 15.
yeah, honest to God, the older the knob gets, the better it tastes. I wish they would have just, given me a little tiny barrel.
So
I
you're
could just
coming
leave it back there
March.
for a few years myself.
What? March 11th, 12th. What?
The next weekend. The end of March, I should be coming. But Ellie still hasn't finalized that with her job.
He's not going to be there the end of March. Well, he's not going to be there the 20th or 22nd. He's going to be with me.
You're the
in
week before
New
the 19th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd. You're there. You're
Hold on. Let me open the March calendar. I would come. I would be there.
the 23rd.
I'd arrive. No, the 21st. The 20th. I'd be there the 20th. And then me personally would be there till the 29th.
Right.
30th.
I'll be in New Orleans, but I'll be home the 22nd.
Yes, but someone has to watch my son because Ellie will be gone the 25th, my wife, and it will be me and Kane up until the 29th or 30th.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean?
Then I have to drive back to Michigan one of those days.
Oh, okay, but like I said, Mom's excited, but that weekend I'll be in New Orleans, but I'll be there the whole week before you leave.
Okay, yeah, we should do some distillery tours.
It's Tiny. I just got a ticket from the 20th to the 26th.
I wanted to visit
19th to the
Jacob.
22nd.
Okay.
Has Mom filled you in on Jacob, Dad?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, that's all. I mean, that's all you need to know.
Wait. Is he out?
He'll be in there for the next at least 2 to 3 months.
In just
Yeah.
serving? Are they trying to help him?
Who?
Is Jacob. Is he getting mental therapy and shit like that, or is it? Nope, just jail.
No, his mom sent him some books that he talked to me and told me to tell her to get him.
Okay.
But you're only allowed to send. You're only allowed 3 books in jail, by the way.
Are they at least if he's there
The
2
Bible
to?
and what are the other 2?
Is he
They
there?
do not have a library. They have about 5 books
He's
stacked in the corner.
he's not.
And he's
Depends
read
on
all
where
of
you
them.
Put
are.
it this way.
Depends on where you are.
No, he's in county lockup. He's not in any jail. He's serving a 2 to 3 month sentence, and he'll be. That's
He's county
90
lockup,
days
though,
in
they're not
county
alive.
lockup. They're not trans.
Your state prison, you got some.
Each day he's in jail counts as 3 days
Off his sentence.
of your sentence. So he's already served almost 8 weeks.
And is he going to get a restraining order on her?
Well, we hope, but the public defenders change every time you see the judge.
So did the public defender help him? I mean, that seems like it's
The first one did, but who knows who the second one is?
no, but the first one was pretty good to get him that after everything that happened.
There was no. The first one just talked to the judge and said, "Hey, we need to go to indictment," and then he was indicted.
Jesus, Randy.
I see it.
But it wasn't like he did something he didn't want him to do, is it?
The sad reality is that like Jacob may have actually done some of this stuff, even though he was coerced and
yes,
taken advantage of and all this stuff. He still may have done it, and I don't know if it's true or not. And I can't talk to him on the county phone about that stuff.
Yeah.
Because
I'm gonna let y'all talk about Jacob. I'm gonna go to bed.
That was
Okay.
Jacob was Randy. If you
Good
followed the
seeing all of you.
podcast, Jacob was the kid.
What kid?
He actually was on the podcast for a while.
Yes. He's not.
Okay,
He was known as the kid.
That was before I started watching, I think, because I don't recognize that.
Yeah.
I do also have to leave. I have to piss.
Okay.
Can't hold it anymore.
You're allowed to leave. It is now 11:33. You stayed on the couple minutes.
I'm
And
trying to
when
find
you
my
come,
weekend.
you're gonna get to drink Knob Creek 21.
That's fantastic. I will be drinking way more than that, though. All right.
I got a bottle of that tonight, Seth.
I'm so glad. Knob, honest to God, tastes so better the longer it's aged.
The 21 you will absolutely love.
The 18.
12 is so good already that
I've got 15, 18, and 21.
We'll try the 18, but
I've got 9 thanks to Walker. He suggested it, so I picked up the 9. I think I have 9 and 12. I don't think I.
There's
have
nothing
15.
wrong with
I
Knob
don't
Creek
think I have
9.
18.
There's
You
absolutely.
have to remember to have me bring the Ironfish bottle so you can send it out to someone, because I don't like it. It's a
Randy,
bad.
that Ironfish rye is yours.
If you
I
want
would
it,
probably
Randy,
like it.
Of course you would.
I will send you the Ironfish, and honestly, I get a 10% discount for all purchases. So any of you guys want?
Did you see the 4th of July celebration tickets they sent you the email today?
No, I haven't.
You should go look, because they're having a huge 250th anniversary. We should plan something, you guys, for the 4th of July.
Okay, well, I have to go.
All right,
I'm
good
gonna
night.
kill myself.
All right.
Goodbye. Good night.
So Walker,
Bye, Seth. Good night.
can you do you have to be on the 4th of July? Do you have to be anywhere, or can you come up here?
I could potentially come up there. I would be foregoing some time with my family. I need to make sure that they don't have any plans, but I could potentially come up there if my family doesn't have plans.
Let's do Randy into the Scotchy Bourbon Boys thing, where he comes up and pays me
Are we still on the air?
Yeah.
Well, we're even recording. All right, we can unrecord. It's
Oh, we're
11:30.
recording.
Here we go. Most people will cut out all of when Randy's in bed. All right, here.
That's why I've got my camera off. Once we're not on live, I'll turn it back on.
Yeah.
Recording. Let's see. Where is it? Stop recording. Where is it? Oh, wait, recording right up here.
Recording stopped.
There we go. You got it. Are we still on YouTube and Facebook?
Yeah, I will
Still
take
on
us off
Facebook.
Facebook and YouTube. I don't have any clue what happened on Facebook. I think it was Matt Acoustis is like, what is absinthe? How is it made? Magical journey for all those that partake. I'll have to tell. We'll have to do our first ever absinthe with Alan's absinthe one. All right, let's see what happened. 100. Let's see. I'm hoping for 180. Good night, YouTube.
Good night, YouTube.